Welcome to Entry Level Moms. I'm Nosra.
I'm Sawia.
And today we have two very important guests. Sawia, would you like to do the honours?
Someone actually, it's written in the stars, yeah? We were on the lookout for a midwife, yeah? And someone goes, please, is it insert name? And we were like, they're on the list. And then somehow they still ended up in our studio today. Alhamdulillah, it was written in the stars. They're here. I would like to introduce you guys to Birthing Muslimah.
Hey guys.
Yes.
Hey guys, thank you so much for having us on here.
Welcome.
Like we said, we've been super excited to just get on with you guys, and thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. I know it was really last minute. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
We love the
really
last minute
appreciate
ones,
the
don't we?
Yeah, definitely. I think
Do you guys want to start with introducing yourselves?
Yeah. So shall I go ahead?
Yeah,
I'll
go
ahead. So my name's Nusi, but and it's short for Nusi.
Nice.
Or we could put the TU because I'm African as well, but let's leave that out. I am one of 6 sisters. I come from a big family. I'm third born, so I definitely have like third born syndrome. And I am a qualified midwife as well. What else is there about me?
there's so much more about you.
Yeah, but I feel like that's the main part, so isn't it? Like, everyone wants to know, like, when I say, who are you? I'm like, I come from a family of 6 girls. You know, I love my mum so much. She's like a big part of our life. Anyone who knows me knows Karama too. I'm telling you, like, everyone knows her. My baby Kay, big up mum. And yeah, like I said, I'm a qualified midwife, and I've been qualified for about coming up to 5 years, probably. Yeah.
Wow.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah.
Love that. And?
So I'm Sahra. I also go by 1,001 names. You might also hear people call me Zay, because I go by the name Zainab as well. So you guys can call me whatever you like, I don't mind. Similarly to Nusi, I'm a midwife as well. I'm a mum and a stepmom to 5 boys. So
Wow.
It's a house full of boys. Full of boys. It's not something that I'm not used to, because I've got 5 brothers myself as well.
Wow.
So it's almost like time just repeating itself, just a different angle, and I'm the mum now apparently.
Wow.
You're
So-
used to the boy energy then. I
Yeah,
guess.
to be honest, even just recently I was thinking, what would my life be like if I had a house full of girls? And I don't think I'd be coping.
Yeah, it would be very, very catty.
I can imagine. Yeah, so house full of boys. What else do I say about myself?
That's okay, guys.
I come from a big family myself. Similar to Nusi, my mum is a massive part of my life as well.
Yeah.
She is my village.
Oh.
She's just one person, but everything that I am today couldn't be like her, and also my sister as well. So, alhamdulillah, that's me. That's us individually, but we also come as an item.
But
as a
we're
pair.
one.
Yeah, an
We
item.
really want. That's why even the separation of the introduction, I'm just like, I can't do. I'm having separation anxiety right now. But alhamdulillah.
So
Like,
together you guys are Birthing Muslimah.
yeah.
How did that come about?
Well,
We'll just
I guess rewind for when we
quite a bit.
started. So we basically, it's actually quite interesting, isn't it? Because my mum, big up my mum again. We did an access course at her college that she was working at, because I was like, I want to be a midwife. I tried a few times, didn't get in first time, and then I was like, fine. I went and did like business management, something like that. And then I was like, this just isn't me. Mum's like, come to my workplace. They do an access course. Like, just try and get in by that way. And I was like, all right, whatever, I'll do it. Came, and then that's when I saw Sarah. And actually, Sarah wasn't supposed to start that year, were you? I think you
No.
said you were going to start the year before, but it didn't happen. Or something like
Something
that.
like that, yeah. I think
Yeah.
I applied the year before, but because they didn't have enough applicants, they had cancelled the course for that year. Because it was access to midwifery, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then obviously applied again the following year, and then that's how me and Nisi met.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. So I think it was meant to be, isn't it?
It was definitely meant to be. It was love at first sight.
She's so cringy. I love it.
Oh.
But no, definitely. And that's how we started off with the course, and then we both applied to unis. I went to King's, she went to City, so that kind of separated us.
It was heartbreaking.
Absolutely heartbreaking. But do you know what? Alhamdulillah, because I feel like even when I was doing like my dissertation or vice versa, we still could like come together, or there's certain topics that I might have already done and she's about to touch up on it in her uni.
Can help
Yeah.
each
And
other.
I'm like, oh, just switch it up. If we had ChatGPT back in then, I'd like, switch up the words and just use it.
Yeah.
But, you know, so alhamdulillah, we were able to kind of support each other through that. And then when we qualified, I said, girl, come to my hospital. I was like, come to my hospital. You don't stay where you are. Come.
Yeah.
She was like, all right. She applied and alhamdulillah got in. So then, you know, since then we've just been basically inseparable because we work together.
You work together.
And then like outside of work, we're always
Always
speaking.
together.
I'm always together. I'm always at her house. Hello. Thank you. So we're always there. So yeah, I think it's
That is
that's
so
how we
lit. So you
kinda-
guys go on like little. Are you on the same shifts?
we have been.
Like
Yeah,
same
we have
rotas?
been. Yeah, they've been. I'm by the way, I'm on maternity leave at the moment, so I'm
Yeah.
not with Nusi
Yeah.
at that like work capacity in that sense. But yeah, when I was on shift, we'd be on many shifts together,
Yeah,
and we'd
yeah.
literally go in like this,
Oh.
break us.
They used to try to separate us on the wards.
Yeah,
Oh,
they'll literally
no.
be like, you need to go be the midwife in charge there. You need to be
Yeah.
like, no,
No,
I'm
I'm going home. Take my bag, I'm going home.
Literally, but many shifts they have separated us, but then
Yeah,
we'd
yeah.
literally always meet down the corridor and be like,
Oh.
help me.
Oh. Yeah.
But yeah, the shifts that we do actually was working together
blast.
was always a good time. Even
Yeah,
though
it's a
the wards are just horrific and just so hectic and just
Yeah.
so long. It's 12-hour shifts. You don't go for a wee. You don't have a lunch break.
Yeah.
You do literally everything's everywhere. So
Yeah,
just to
can
have
be.
Nusi there, it's like, oh my god. When she's not there, I go to work. I'm like,
Yeah. This is me.
I go
at
to work like
work.
this every single day.
This is me at work now. They're like, Nisi. I'm just like, but alhamdulillah, like, I do feel like it's like you said, it's much easier when you're at work and I see you, I'm just like, do you know what, I'm going to have a good shift.
Yeah, I can
Even
do
if
it.
it's going to be horrific, I'm like, I'm going to survive it,
Yeah.
So, and I guess just through work, just kind of seeing like how women sometimes come, and Muslim women specifically, and whenever they see us, they genuinely, I feel like they gravitate towards us.
Yeah.
They're
They
just like,
do.
sister, oh, can you help me with this? Or what does this mean? And, like they'll ask us a lot of questions. And I thought, you know what, we need to figure out like a platform or do like some kind of initiative for Muslim women, but not limited to Muslim women. Because obviously we became midwives for a reason. We enjoy it. We love caring for women, educating women and empowering them. So obviously we want to do it for our Muslims, we want to do it for our Muslim sisters, but also, if we're able to just benefit everyone, alhamdulillah,
Yeah.
Anyone
And,
whose views sort of align with us, or they're just looking for
Exactly.
support or just to be educated in one way or another,
Yeah.
we're more than happy to.
Exactly.
to
Just
work
because they
on something.
gravitate towards you because you're good vibes.
Yeah, I hope so.
I love that.
I'm there like, yeah. I remember one time I was on a labour ward shift and I was like, so obviously it was unfortunate circumstances. A lady had been subjected to sexual abuse when she was younger. And so I saw the way the team brought hell. Like literally everyone was a woman. No men were allowed in. They were putting signs on the doors. They were blanking out the theatre doors. They were like absolutely, I was the midwife looking after her. And even like, to be honest with you, I do it all the time. If I'm putting a catheter, so catheters are usually what you put into the bladder so they can drain into a bag. When I put a catheter, I'm very mindful, but like, hello, can you, everyone just go
Yeah,
to
if you
the
don't need
mum's
to be
head end. You don't
dickhead.
need to be down here.
Yeah.
But that day it was like people were telling me, I was like, hello, I've been doing this for a while. I don't need you to come and tell me how to do my job. Thank you.
Yeah.
But like, the people were just doing the most to kind of support that woman in that situation because she didn't want any men around, any male, because actually the abuse was from a male doctor. So that's why it was.
Oh, that's
even
so
more
triggering.
Yeah,
Oh my
subhanallah.
goodness.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, that's
yeah.
so
The
triggering.
The hospitals must be so triggering for her.
No,
personally.
Yeah.
exactly. But you know what? In that situation, I literally sat there and I was like, and I remember going back because Sarah was working on a maternity inpatient, and I remember saying to her, sis, like I've just seen the way they've come together, and it actually made me quite teary because I thought this is beautiful, and I wish that this was available for everyone, like even Muslim women. Like how must they feel in a situation? Obviously, we know Islamically actually when it comes to health. There's difference in opinions, when it comes to health, then and you need a male doctor
it's
to look after
emergency.
it's emergency, then
It is what it is.
it's
It is what it
permissible,
is, yeah.
But if we could just bring that little bit of like peace to them and be like, look, listen, we're going to try and see if we can get an all-female team together, even though we know it's not always feasible, but we can try.
we can
That trying, I was like, we need to do something. We need to educate women. We need to let them know, hello, this is your rights. Ask for it. If you don't ask, you don't get.
And so many times you meet women, whether they're Muslim or not, am I allowed to do this? Am I allowed to do that? I'm just like, it's literally your body. It's your body.
it's your
You're
right.
allowed to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
You can ask for advice, like what is recommended, and I can tell you what's recommended. It's for you whether you accept that or not. But just that used to really jar me. Am I allowed?
Yeah.
You've come here to have a baby,
Yeah.
and you're surrounded by people that you don't know. You don't know these people. Most of the times, the midwife that you meet in labour is not. Most of the times, it's not a midwife that you know throughout your pregnancy, unless you've had some sort of continuity of care. Or so it's just. Yes, you can make a decision, and yes, you can oppose a recommendation, just as long as you have all the information. So it's just about asking these questions, And I thought just better equipping women through Birthing Muslimah, better equipping women to ask the right questions, to have information, so that when they are faced in certain situations, they know, oh, actually, I've done a bit of reading about this, and I know that. Because when you're in the middle of an emergency, for example, because labour, birth can take a turn very quickly.
Unpredictable.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so at that time, if you have someone telling you, "Oh, this is what we recommend: A, B, C, D, E, F, G," you don't
not
have
gonna
time to
absorb
be like, "Oh,
that,
can you give
yeah.
me about half an
Yeah.
hour to go
Yeah.
and do a bit of research?" But actually, even if you just have the most simple, like, education behind it, or just even a little bit of information behind it, you can be like, "Actually, do you know what? I read about this,
Yeah.
and this is a question that I want to ask because I know that this risk is associated with this, and this is what I want to." You really just want women to really speak up for themselves.
Advocate
You
for
know,
themselves.
and also their partners as well, for their partners to
Exactly.
be better equipped to ask the right
100%.
questions when their partner's feeling fragile,
Yeah.
tired, in
Vulnerable,
pain, or whatever the
those kind of things,
situation
yeah.
is, you know.
Yeah, I recently. So basically, so at the moment, since Sarah's off and has left me, I'm doing. I'm an infant feeding lead, and I'm also a bereavement midwife. And in answer to that question about, like, you know, when women ask, like, can I do this? When I don't like hearing it, period, anyways, really, because I really want them to be like, this is what I want to do. How are you going to facilitate it? I love that. When I see that, I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do, you know? But,
Inject
you know,
it.
I'm just thinking, this is what, you know? But I think in my role with bereavement, and my lead says it as well, it's always just like, when we see women who come and they're just like, I just lost my baby. What do I do? Like, what? And I'm just like, girl. It's just, I don't know, it hits differently for me. And I'm just like, you know what? You may not be walking out the revolving doors with a baby, but you deserve the same kind of care anyone does, even if they're leaving with their baby.
100%.
You know, so sometimes I'm just like, dim those lights, you know, bring all those, like, you know, scented candles, you know,
Essential
essential oils,
yeah.
candles, but, you know,
Aromatherapy
all those
and-
things to make it, you know, safe, make it an environment that you
her
wanted.
body's still going through postpartum.
Exactly, yeah.
She's probably lactating. She's probably still
Exactly.
getting those, you know, those contractions that you get after you give birth.
Exactly.
Bleeding heavily. She's
Yeah.
still, her
and on
body's
top
still
of that,
going
dealing
through
with all the emotions.
grief.
but with no baby.
Yeah.
So they need the same amount of support, or
If
even
not
more.
more.
Yeah.
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 Do you
More
know what I mean?
specialised care,
Yeah.
definitely.
So we do a lot of counselling before they come in, and we do like a birth preference kind of, and we're just like, right, let's go through this. These are your options. This is what, you know, we can do. What do you want to do? And some of them are just like, I'll just go with the flow. I just want you to tell me what to do, because they don't want to deal with that. They're like, I don't
Yeah.
actually want to deal with the
Too
thought
much
of that,
thinking, isn't
you know?
it?
Yeah.
So then I'm just like to the partner, all right, let's have this discussion. What do you might think she might like and stuff? Or they go
Yeah.
home and then they come back and then we can discuss it in detail. But
Oh my God, I wish I had
completely,
that.
you know,
Me
really-
too.
I wish I was given options.
Me
man.
too.
Do you know what? That really breaks my heart.
It does
Hello,
break my
Terry.
heart. It does break-
Like, it is.
My-
It does, because, you know.
It's really sad, because even with me, when I had my first two sons, I wasn't a midwife. But when I had my third son, I was a midwife. Not saying you need to be a midwife to have access to all these informations. It's just a matter of just having the right information, access to it, and everything like
Yeah.
that. But the difference is,
Yeah.
I can't even explain what the difference is. I was even speaking to Nusi about it recently with breastfeeding, for example. When I had my first son, breastfeeding was almost non-existent. Didn't know what to do, was never asked what I'm doing, decided to give formula, and the midwife would ask, or the health visitor, whoever visited me at home while I was in hospital, would be like, how are you feeling your baby? Oh, I've just given a bottle. Okay. No conversation about, is this how you would like to feed your baby? Have you tried breastfeeding? Do you not want to? Like, there was no conversation about it at all. And it was the same with my second, but I knew a little bit more. But with my third, obviously, I'm a midwife who is giving breastfeeding advice all the time. And it worked really, really well, alhamdulillah. And it just shows, like, first of all, the services that I need clearly wasn't available for me at that time. And it was obviously a gap. And just like you said, I wish that was available for me when I had my babies, you know? So, inshallah, like, Birthing Muslimah can help sort of bridge the gap.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's so beautiful.
and Nusi, you're also a mum?
I'm not.
You're not a mum.
I'm not. I'm married, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
To the most amazing guy.
Oh.
This is my second marriage.
Love this.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. But no babies yet.
That's so inshallah.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. When the time is
Hello,
right.
thank you.
Make dua for her, man. Inshallah.
Guys, make dua.
Inshallah. Do you ever think to yourself, because as a midwife, you're dealing with like women, like womanhood and having babies, and do you ever think to yourself, damn, this looks wild? What's your perspective, because you haven't been through labour yet?
Yeah. Do you know what? It's so interesting because someone asked me once, they said, do you think that you need to be a mother to be able to be a better midwife? Do you think being a mother would make you a better midwife? And I said, I don't know, maybe it puts you into a different step in the sense of empathy. But you can't teach people how to be empathetic. You've either got it or you don't,
yes,
you know?
facts.
But so in answer to her question at the time, I was just like, no, actually, because, you need empathy and actually skills. Experience comes with that. So for me personally, I actually feel like I'd be pushing with them half the time. My pelvic floor is probably on the floor right now. Honestly.
It's such a bad midwife thing, honestly.
Like, girl.
At the end of it, you're like, okay.
I will tell you this. I don't know if I want to cut that later. But I remember one time, I was just going. I was going doing the most, and I'm like, go on, push, and I was encouraging her, and there was like a loud fart, and then I just looked at the woman, and the woman looked at me, and I think she knew that it wasn't her. But I said, don't worry about that, Mum. Don't worry about that. Continue, keep going. And she laughed, and I just thought, no, don't worry about that. Hello, let's focus, Dad. Yeah, and I thought, no, I can't do this.
You're pushing.
I'm pushing. I'm literally pushing with them.
I think all labour midwives do that. I think they push with
She
the
said,
mums.
hold on a minute. That wasn't me. Jump
Don't
scare.
worry about that. Don't think about that.
Don't worry about that.
Oh,
So,
If that was me, I would have laughed.
honestly, so from my perspective, I really do feel like I probably birthed a few things, maybe not babies, but a few other things. But so I do feel like, like my perspective is just like, I do find the empathy side, alhamdulillah, I feel like my mum has definitely instilled that in all of us, and that's something that you just, like I said, it comes naturally. And just the knowledge, if you've got that knowledge, you can care for someone better. But yeah, no, I think I enjoy it. It doesn't put me off in it. A lot of people say, like, oh, do you feel like, sometimes, I can't lie, sometimes
you're
I might
in there,
feel-
sis.
Yeah.
You're seeing the
You're
baby
literally
crawling.
one born every minute.
But you
Like,
know
you're
what,
there.
I also feel like because we have similar body parts as women, that actually when you see certain things like tears, for example, like you do go, ooh. You do just cross the legs a little bit, even though I've never experienced it. You're just like, ooh, But I'm talking about more so 3rd or 4th degree tears. 2nd degree tears, which is like just like a little bit of the skin and the muscle, is very common, But actually, I'm talking more so the 3rd
I had
or
2 of
4th
those.
degree tears. Yeah, it's very common.
Yeah.
One of my family members, she gave birth a couple of weeks ago, and she said it was more than a 4th degree. It was like one big hole, like from the front to the. I was like, hey.
I'm so sorry.
You know what?
I
We were
said,
just
hey.
talking about this actually recently, about tears and stuff, and it's so weird. I don't know if you feel the same way, but it's weird. But when I'm in a delivery room and a woman has a 3rd or 4th degree tear, I can't help but take it personally.
Yeah, I
don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because there are things that we do at our trust in terms of like protecting that area, so the anal sphincter, that's the muscle.
Yeah.
And like it's things like using a warm compress as she's labouring, when she's pushing, or using counter pressure on her perineum, so the space between the vagina and the back passage,
And slowing down
the
delivery
head.
of baby's head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's things that you do to prevent those really, bad
Deep tears, yeah.
But when they get 4th degree tears, I just feel like, could I have offered an episiotomy, for example? People really do shy away from it. But sometimes in that situation, you just think, an episiotomy, which is a small cut, is to divert the tear away from your back passage and to the side. Should I have given that? Should I have given that a bit earlier? Did I sit on my hands too much because I'm trying to protect her perineum, which actually I've done more damage than I have protection,
So the episiotomy, are you guys supposed to ask people if they want it, or do you just do it?
What does that even mean?
Yeah.
If you go.
It's not about if you want it, because nobody wants it.
No, but it's more so you have to ask, of course. Could you imagine not
Nobody
asking
asked
someone and
me.
just doing it?
Did they cut you?
Ain't nobody asked me.
Did they cut you?
From my vagina to my asshole.
But the I can't say that word.
Episiotomy, say appease.
Appease.
Yeah.
Ain't
Episiotomy.
nobody asked me nothing.
I thought it was.
Somebody cut me.
Oh my goodness.
And that's when my kid's head came out. And I said, damn. And for weeks, I didn't even know it happened. I just felt like, when it's healing, I felt like a straight, scar
Yeah, you can
in
feel
that
it.
area. I felt that scar.
Yeah.
And it was very straight. And I remember thinking to myself, this is very straight
Yeah.
kind of head. That's straight.
Yeah.
Until I looked at the documents and it said episiotomy. I was like,
They should absolutely ask.
they
You know
didn't
what?
ask me nothing.
In an emergency situation, I do find some doctors just going to give you a little cut right now because we need to deliver baby's head. They might say stuff like that. But in that case, the woman can either say no or just before they even say something's happened. But I'm very much, if I'm in that room and the episiotomy is going to happen, I'm just like, Mum, because sometimes you can anticipate from before, you're just kind of gauging the area. Actually, you're doing these assessments, constantly, and you're like, do I think she needs a right? And actually, sometimes I actually don't wait for the time that it needs to be done to talk about it.
Yeah.
I talk about it
You
before.
already sort of anticipate
Okay.
it just because of not always,
Not always.
but sometimes when you can see that it might be going that way, it might not, but just letting the woman know.
But at least
Yeah.
she's
Even in the
prepared. If
labour.
it doesn't go that way, then it's okay. But if it does,
Yeah.
then she's prepared, right?
In the labour, I talk about it when she's labouring and we're having a bit of a chin wag. I'm going through her birth preferences. Part of the birth preferences will ask you about, episiotomies. So I'll be like, do you know what an episiotomy is? Yes or no? Right, this is what it is. The only reason that we would recommend this at so-and-so time is for X, Y, and Z. So if you hear me speak about this and ask you, I'm just gaining consent for it. Like, I will say well before it comes to the crunch time that actually an appease is needed, you know?
I know.
So, yeah, I would.
But I can imagine that, like, do they even feel the cut? I've never been cut down there. Yeah, but like when you are already crowning and pushing, your body's already there's
In a
already
lot of
trauma
pain,
there.
yeah.
So maybe it's something they would feel after, and not during. Does that make sense?
A lot of women, not a lot of women. Some women have epidural on board,
Oh,
so they won't
yeah.
feel it.
Yeah.
When you are, so the moment that you need to do an episiotomy is really just before your baby's head is delivered, and by that point, I've seen situations where it is a real emergency, and they just have a few seconds to get a bit of local anaesthetic in the area,
Okay.
and women don't feel the cut. They don't.
Okay.
But it'd be wrong for me to say for every woman that's a situation.
But actually, every woman should generally have good pain relief on board before cutting her. Like,
Yeah, 100%.
could you just imagine? Sometimes, and I remember back in the days, what people would do, because I used to be a support worker before I became a midwife. I was a maternity support worker. And what they would do is at the peak of the contraction is when the piece would be given, because actually most women don't feel it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But the amount of times when you hear about trauma informed and just people's traumas, they're just like, I felt when that cut happened, or I felt
my
when I
gosh.
tore, or I felt like they feel everything.
I felt when
they
I
might
tore.
just not be able to say or
Yeah.
verbalize it in that moment.
I felt when I tore, but I didn't feel the episiotomy. I only noticed it after when it was healing, and I was like, oh, that's when I couldn't figure out why it was such a straight line. It's only when I realized, okay, they must have cut me.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel it in the moment.
Yeah.
I did feel the tear though.
Yeah.
I felt her come out. Like I felt the tear.
Yeah.
And even like so there's a lot of questions that we need to go through, and one of them is one of the questions I wanted to ask you anyway. But the birthing position that I was in, I was on my back, and then as my daughter was about to come out, they pushed my legs this way, and then she came out. But I always wondered, why did they do that? Like, why did they do that?
It's difficult to say because we weren't there. But just the maneuver that you've done here.
Yeah.
So if the baby's head is delivered and they've done that to your legs, it makes me think, did they think that the baby's shoulder was stuck?
baby.
Oh,
Just for a quick moment? Because that movement
Would be
is called
called
McRoberts. So when you bring
Oh, it's
the
a
knees
thing.
up, it lifts your pelvis
But
up.
only if we think that
There's
their
a shoulder
shoulders are stuck,
dystocia.
and that's an medical emergency, because actually we've got a certain amount of time that baby needs to come out.
Yeah.
So, because obviously, baby stuck here, can't get the shoulders out. If we straighten mum's leg and bring it back, it will really open that diameter
And it will release the
shoulder.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works in that way.
well, that must have been
So
why then.
it could have been, that could have been the reason, because I don't see any other reason. Cause
Yeah, I don't
we
understand.
see
All
many
of a sudden,
times
you're going to be the
women-
lady
all of a
lift up her leg, cock up the leg for no reason.
Yeah,
Like, just all of a sudden.
it's the only rational reasoning that I can come with.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it might be that. And you might have not been told that because it might have not been a true shoulder dystocia. They might have just done that and it might have released it. Or maybe they just sort of acted hastily. It's difficult to say if we weren't
Yeah.
there, but that could be
Yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
reasons why.
Yeah, I don't really know. So, and you know what? Some people think that actually when your legs are at here, it's opening the diameter of actually just, I guess, your pelvic outlet. But it's so weird because I find often in labour, and you see it more on birth centre than you would see labour ward, is that women tend to bring their knees together. And I remember when I was a student, I used to think, no, we want her knees to be out. We want to, but then my mentor at the time was like, no, girl, that's not how it works. Actually, when she's got her knees together, it's almost like it will tilt her pelvis and it will open more. So actually, where you think you're doing the woman justice by holding her knees open and bringing it up towards the chest, you're not allowing her to naturally take over. She knows her body, and she knows the maneuvers that she needs to do to get her baby out. You know, sometimes they need a bit of support with it, and we always encourage that upright positions. But, you know, maybe her baby is kind of in a weird position or facing that way, so she just feels naturally she wants to tilt herself into a certain direction.
Yeah.
So we have to really encourage women to listen to their bodies.
Yeah.
Because actually, even when the whole putting the lady's leg like this, and actually she just kept naturally going like this, she was like,
There's
I
a
can't hold my
reason
leg. There's a
for
reason
it.
she's doing that.
Yeah.
There's a reason her body's reacting to that. So sometimes you just gotta let you guys be, if I'm honest with you. I think is sometimes, I don't know if we're over medicalised and we feel like we need to do something.
You're just having a
Intervene.
Yeah.
Intervene quickly.
It's actually really bad. Like, there's been many situations where I've been like, whoa, let's just wait a second, shall we?
Yeah.
You know, I
Because,
feel
you know,
like
when you
even
deep it, like, how many centuries were women given birth?
Literally,
right?
yeah.
Our bodies were
Don't
kind
get
of
me wrong.
designed to do it, right?
Exactly.
So I feel like some people like what you said, over medicalize
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah,
We find it
there's,
hard to
there's
sit on our
room
hands.
for intervention, but it's not every situation that you need to intervene. Like, you just stay outside. Thank you. Like, we've got this in here, you know. I remember even one time, just talking about how quick sometimes some people are to react when it's actually not that deep.
Yeah.
But I was doing, I was the midwife for an elective cesarean section, and I didn't have enough hands or enough support to sort of hold the monitor on while I catheterized. So I literally left it for like 2 seconds because it'd be really quick, right? So I quickly went through the catheter, and by the time I went to hold the transducer on properly, the
pick up the baby's heart rate.
consultant walked in that's going to do the cesarean section, and he was like, "Oh, we're having a bradycardia," which means like a deceleration. The baby's heart rate has dropped. I was like, "No, I've just let go." So it's actually picking up mum's pulse, not the baby's heart rate. I was like, "No, it's all fine." And this woman had really, really bad anxiety. Like, actually, one of the main reasons why she was going for an elective is because of all the anxiety surrounding childbirth and everything like that. I was like, no, it's fine. I just let go of it for a second or two. It's fine. Can you hear it? It's absolutely fine, you know? And he was like, no, we need to do... I was like,
Oh my God,
this
chill.
is
This is the
absolutely
problem.
fine.
Sis, this is the problem.
I
Chill.
thought you will not now
my
make this
God.
woman more anxious than what she is already. Like, you will not do that. You
my
will not do.
God.
I was like, no, this is fine. This is fine. He's like, right then, we just better scrub up really quickly. I said, yeah, you do that. Yeah. Mum, everything's fine. You're doing amazing. You're doing a fantastic job. You know, because you do get people that run too fast. To do too fast. I get you want to be cautious because you want the woman to have a safe birth and you want mum to be well and you want baby to be well. I get it. But you can't take away from people's experiences. You need to let them make the decisions and stop putting fear into everything as well. Like, it's not a way.
I can't, like, in my room sometimes, if I feel like, you know, like there's a situation and I just feel like it's a bit too hostile right now, I'm literally I'm gonna need you to leave this room. Like, I can't take it. Hey, can you take it? No. Yeah, right. We would like you to step out. Thank you. You know, because
Or sometimes I'm even like, they ask women to make a decision there and then while they're still standing there, and it's like it becomes like this really awkward. You can hear crickets kind of. I'm like, all right, mum, we're just gonna leave you for a minute, all of us. Let's go. Just let her think about this, the big decision that she's about to make.
What about the famous one about, like, you know, when they come in, the doctors knock on the door. Hi, the doctor's coming in, because they've seen something on the monitor outside and they feel like they need to expedite labour. And then they're like, you ask them, and they're like, oh, let's go get the instrumental. I was like, yeah, you go and do that. As soon as they leave, listen to me very carefully. Listen, you just push that baby out. You know, letting loose as well, you know. And the baby's like, heads out, sorry, thank you.
By the time they
next
come in,
time.
be like, knock, sorry, baby delivered 15:24. Thank you, close the door, well done. You know?
The amount of times that is happening, because you know she can do it. You know she can do it. She doesn't need them.
Just there. It's just there. And what she doesn't need in that time is a bunch of people coming in her
She
room
needs a cheerleader.
when they
That's what she
really
needs.
don't need to be there. If they need to be
Exactly.
there, that's something completely different. But when they really don't need to be there, goodbye, thank you.
Thank you.
Cecilia. Quang, quang, quang. Quang, 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 quang. Breaking news.
Did you hit that subscribe button? Okay, more to follow. You know, sometimes, like, it happened to one of my cousins, actually. She was trying to push for hours and hours. And the thing is, like, there was no risk. She wasn't high risk or anything. She just didn't get the technique. She just didn't know how to push. And obviously over like 5-6 hours, at some point she was just tired, so she couldn't even push. They were like, C-section, and she was begging, please, I don't want a C-section, I can do it. Her husband literally had to beg them, and luckily the doctor that was going to do the C-section, it was a Muslim guy, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what, sister, we're gonna try one more time. One more time.
Yeah.
And alhamdulillah, she was able
'Cause
to,
she gave it
because
her
she did
all.
not want a
Yeah.
C-section.
Yeah, she gave
But
it her
she
all.
gave it her all because of that last encouragement. But sometimes I feel like with the pushing, it's like, maybe it's a technique thing.
It is. I think it's because people
How
How
push
would
in
you
the
guys,
belly. Some
how
people
would
push
you
in the
guys
belly.
describe, like,
Like doing a poo?
A great big poo.
The biggest poo of your entire, I mean, you're doing the big, you're doing the big poo.
yeah,
It's honestly like doing a great big poo.
like pushing through your bum, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when women start pushing, so sometimes you'll see if a woman has an epidural, they might need a bit of support with just how to push and how to guide that pushing.
Yeah.
But even just women without epidurals, a lot of pushing starts in the throat, and you're like, right, so all the energy is going here right now.
Yeah.
That's not where we need it to go, and then it will change and it will go into the abdomen.
What do you mean
and
throat?
you're
Is it like they hold
Shut
their breath?
Yeah.
like doing that, you know,
that.
and it's like so tense here, and all the energy is going here. You're like,
Oh yeah.
not, you know, no.
Yeah.
And then the pushing changes. She tries really hard, and then you can see that actually it's the abdomen that she's focusing on. You know,
Oh, the
and you're
core.
like, Mum,
Yeah.
I want you to push like you're doing a great big poo.
Yeah.
And then moments later, the baby's
Yeah.
there. You know,
Yeah.
as soon as you say, they're like, but then what if I poo? Fantastic. 'Cause
Yeah.
then you're doing the right thing.
Yeah. Do you
Great.
hear that, guys?
Oh, that's actually one of the
If
questions
you
coming
poo,
up.
you're doing the right thing.
You are.
Don't worry about it.
If you ain't
sweetheart.
pooing, you ain't pushing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Like,
swear.
Majority of
I
women
mean,
do
you
poo.
are half the time, but majority of women will.
I mean, if the
Because
poo's
if
there,
it-
it's
if the
got to
poo's
come
there,
out.
it's gonna come.
It's going to come out.
Yeah.
But listen, also, I know that midwives, they don't make it obvious that the person has pooed. Because
Yeah,
a lot
well,
of people
yeah.
get anxious to be like, oh my God, I'm going to shit on the table in front of everyone. But like, really and truly, I feel like they hide it. They don't.
The thing is,
they're not going to be like, guys,
you'll meet some women and say, I didn't poo. You did.
You did.
You just didn't know about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Wow.
did, and you didn't know about it. You did, you know,
Oh
because
my
it's just you want to
God.
really preserve that person's dignity,
Dignity.
isn't
Of course,
it?
that's
Their
what it
partner's
is.
there, sometimes their mum is there, sometimes their mother-in-law is there, a friend is there. Like it's just even outside of that, just I don't want her to feel even awkwardness with me.
Yeah.
Oh, I've done a poo. Hello, thank
Okay,
you.
but like, is it a little poo or is it like a big one?
Is
Well,
it like
No,
so
it
it's a
comes in different
variety.
shapes and
Where's
sizes.
it a log?
Depends what she ate last night.
Honestly, what did she eat last night? That's what it depends on. There's been times where I've delivered poo rather than a baby. Like, honestly, it's been the most.
But
But
honestly, wallahi,
love it.
It's,
Honestly,
it's a great
it's fine.
sign that
Yeah.
you're pushing and the labour
I
and
love
birth
that.
is
It's so
imminent.
funny.
You're
The poo
doing
comes
a
out and
great
you're like,
job.
oh, you've had a Chinese one.
I see ramen noodles and melon.
honestly, but it's,
Yeah,
it's
honestly,
so
we don't
common.
mind. And you
It's
will
so
never see
normal.
any midwives that discuss it outside of the room.
No
I've never come to
way.
Nusi and be like, I don't
Did
know.
you see the shit that she just got rid of? I'm like, we're not going to do that.
Come
Half the
on.
time we're
Never.
talking about, oh my God, do you see what just happened? All the bleeding, all that baby, all this. Like, we talk about those kind of stuff. We're not going to talk about this shit.
Nobody
Can we
actually
all
cares.
do it, man.
We
Like,
do. We
every
do.
single one of
No
us sits on the
shame.
toilet
We
and
really
Yeah,
poos.
don't get me wrong. There are a small number of women that don't poo while they're
Yeah,
in
of
labour.
course.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. That's great for them. But if you poo, you're also fantastic because
Yeah.
you've pushed out a whole baby.
Yeah,
Of
exactly.
course,
You know,
everything
don't
else
feel
is going
any
to come
shame.
out. Yeah.
You know,
Don't
with
feel
the
shame.
pushing, like even women who are pregnant who are in comas, their body just expels the
Because
baby.
just- I
Like
guess-
they're in a coma, they're flat, like they're not awake, they don't push.
When they're pooing or when they have a baby, which one?
When they're in a coma
thought you said
and they're
when-
giving birth.
How
Some
they
pregnant
giving birth
women,
when they're in coma.
listen,
Girl.
some pregnant women, they be like, listen, there's some cases where people was in a coma and then some of the doctors was coming around to their rooms
Oh,
Oh,
it's-
God, that is
Yes.
and then they
Yeah.
got impregnated and then they gave
Whoa.
birth whilst in the coma.
yeah. Her body was still growing a baby.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a woman in coma and her belly's growing over 9 months?
And she's been in a
And
coma
she wasn't
for a
pregnant
long
Been there
time.
for like 13 months.
Uh-huh.
Make it make sense.
Right?
Crazy.
But the thing is, she was in a coma, so she's not awake, she's not conscious. But her body did the pushing and expelled the baby.
You know what? Giving birth. I don't know about the coma situation. I don't because I haven't seen it, heard of it before. But just in normal circumstances where a woman is having contractions, she's
Yeah.
in labour. It's a joint effort. It's mum and
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
Baby is doing a really, really big job as
Yeah.
well. You know. So there will be times where you feel like I can't push anymore, but you still feel that immense
Urge.
pressure because of
Yeah.
the contractions, because your baby's moving down.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
I'm still stuck at that whole
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
seriously,
Yeah.
I saw it. It was an article.
My God.
Yeah, she was pregnant and they were trying to
Did it
figure
happen
out.
in America? Because
Yeah, it did happen in America. Of course it happened in America. Yes.
Stories come out of America.
It does sound American.
It definitely
really
happened in
does.
America. Definitely.
Yeah, no,
God.
that's absolutely crazy.
Really sad.
I'm intrigued to know how your births went.
So with my first son, just for me, it was quite scary.
Yeah.
You didn't know what to expect. It's your
Yeah.
first time. The first contraction happened. I was screaming my head off from the first contraction. I was like, oh God, I'm going to die. My husband, at the time, he was like, what's going on here? I wasn't met initially by a very pleasant midwife, which was really sad, actually, because not that it makes a difference who your midwife is, what the colour of her skin is, or what country she's from, or what religion she is, but just I guess sometimes when you see somebody that looks like you think, oh, alhamdulillah, she was a Muslim sister. And I remember I went to the birth centre. I was in hysterics. I was really scared. I didn't know what was happening with my body. And she checked me and she turned around and she said, you're only 2 centimetres. And by the way that you're screaming and you're not coping at all right now, and you're in very, 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 very early. Like, that's how I received it.
Honestly,
You're in very, 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 very early labour. You know it.
I would say to her, what's her name? Where she live?
I took that as you are nowhere near delivering this baby.
It's gonna get worse.
She's like, so by this, I would suggest that you go to labour ward and get an epidural on board.
Oh,
Birth
wow.
centre is
Can you
not the
imagine?
place for you. There are other women who are having babies
I'm
as
actually
well.
so vexed at that. I don't even like hearing the story. Why do
Looking
people- I
back,
don't like hearing
especially,
about it.
Her attitude
especially
stinks,
now
bruv.
as a midwife,
horrible.
when I revisit that, it's really sad. It's actually really sad
The
because
attitude
I felt
stinks.
devastated in that time, and I thought, oh my God, like, no, I can't do this.
Also, it's your first time here.
Something needs to stop this. I can't. I refused to go home. I said, I'm not going home. I'm so scared. She's like, fine, we'll give you 4 hours. But if you don't progress, then you're going to have to go home. And I was like, the midwife that took over,
Chef's
such a
kiss.
yeah, she was honestly, she was everything I needed. I'm the type of person, I'm quite a soft person. I cry at every opportunity, that kind of person. Like, I'm so dramatic. But I'm not, I don't need a midwife who's going to be emotional with me. I need a midwife that's going to be like, listen, yeah, thank you. Like, I need a midwife like Nusi, but I'm going to get there, you know. I need a midwife that's going to be like, you can do this, but I actually need you to eat something so you've got the energy to do that. I actually need you to bounce on this spot. Thank you, yeah. I don't need someone to be like, oh, it's okay, which is lovely. But it's weird because I'm a midwife like that. You are so
But I feel like you like a
I
good
love you,
combination.
yeah. Obviously, if things get serious, I'm like, hello,
Yeah.
thank you. But most of it's like,
balance.
you can do this.
Yeah.
But I'm not that I'm that midwife, but I'm not the. I don't need a midwife like myself in that sort of situation. But anyways, alhamdulillah, I had him in the birth centre. It was absolutely fine. I progressed perfectly, beautifully, amazingly. Everything was fine. With my second son, my contractions started about 4 a.m. and I woke up. My mum was like, "Mum, I think this is happening." She was like, "No, don't be silly. Don't be fine. It's fine. Go to sleep. Go to sleep." I was like, "Okay," and I went back to sleep. And then it was happening. I was like, okay, no, I need to get up and start gathering stuff slowly. I had a shower. I blow dried my hair, but the contraction was happening. Wow. And then I thought, and then it got to a point where I had to hold on to someone or hold on to the wall and really breathe through the contraction. I thought, I think I need to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
And then I went to the hospital. The midwife was really lovely, but she was like, I don't think you're in proper labour like you said over her. And I said, check me. So then they got, it was a student midwife who did a vaginal examination. She checked me and she was like, I need to just go and quickly get the midwife. She looked like like she was like a deer in headlights. She was like, I need to go get the midwife. I was like, okay. I thought, oh my God, she's going to tell me I'm only 2 centimetres. I can't do this. Like, I was losing my mind in there. And then the midwife came. She's like, right, we can get a wheelchair. I'm like, yeah, you're actually fully dilated. So we actually need to get you. I said,
sorry.
and I started crying. I held my mum. I was like, oh, I can't believe it. Mum was like, what's happened? What? I was like, he's coming out now. And she's like, what? I was like, yeah.
Oh my
By the time I went
God.
upstairs, I started crying. I said, please, I just need gas in there. She probably thought I was a nitty. She probably thought I was a nitty. I was like, I just need the gas in there. Just a few puffs. Just one or two. And she's like, yeah, that's fine. Just, somebody's setting it up for you. Come on, mum. The baby's headed. I actually need to push. I didn't even get the gas in there. I was so upset. But then he came. I literally got to the hospital at like 8 o'clock, and then like 8:52 he was born.
What?
So that for me was like, I felt alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. It
So
was
wait,
so wonderful.
So are you saying that the second time around you managed it better, like the pain?
So much better. So much better. Maybe because I've experienced contractions before. So and there's only 1 year and 9 months between my sons as well. So it wasn't a long gap in between as well. So I feel like my body sort of knew. My body's done it before.
And the fear element.
And
in
I
terms
think
of,
because I spent most of my time at home. I laboured at home. Because by the time I got to the hospital, they said, your baby's coming. You know? So being at home in early labour is genuinely the best place for you to be, if it's safe for you to be
Honestly,
at home.
I really feel like being at home is so much better because the hospitals gives me anxiety. I can't lie to you.
Yeah.
And
me anxiety and
Right,
I work
me as
there.
well. Listen, I don't know what it is about hospitals, but like the first time around with Jenna, yeah, this was 2021. I had like high blood pressure, and the more they kept telling me my blood pressure was high, the more it stayed high. So low key, I'm thinking, should I just go home and chill, because maybe it's just the environment that I'm in. Who knows? But guys, I don't ever have high blood pressure. I don't have I've never had high blood pressure.
Even the way you're talking now, you don't sound like someone who
She's so
it's just
chilled.
so soothing. I feel like you've known about blood pressure.
If you see internally how stressed I am, you would never think. But literally, I've never had high blood pressure before. It was the first time I've ever had it, and it was during pregnancy. And the more they kept telling me, the more nervous I was getting, the more stressed I was getting.
It's like
And a part of me
cycle.
thought, maybe just get me out of here. Maybe I shouldn't be here. Because just the hospitals and the beeps and the machines and the CTG. It's scary.
Oh god,
man.
you definitely been there. She said CTG.
That machine.
Are you a midwife?
That machine is the worst machine I have ever been on.
With my second, with Adam a year ago, I mentioned once I didn't feel him for a while. Hey, they put me on the CTG for like 5 hours. And then I came back the next day, another 5 hours on the CTG. And I said to them, listen, can I at least get free parking? They said no. They said no, guys. They said no.
Yeah, it's all of them. It's not just there. Trust me.
So I had to pay like £30 just to sit there
For 5 hours on the CTG.
Honestly.
That's the worst machine ever. I swear, I hate that machine so much. I also had experience my daughter not moving, and that was like right towards the end. And I remember going in there and they sat me down, they laid me down. The minute they put it on, she starts kicking.
Yeah, they do that all
The
the time.
minute they put it on,
They are so naughty,
They actually
aren't
have no manners. These children,
Listen.
they don't have manners.
Listen, they started kicking before I even got to the CTG. I was in the triage, you know, the waiting room.
taking the piss.
It started moving. I was like, I said, alhamdulillah, he's moving.
Yeah.
But
same
you know
time,
what?
can I go
Well
home now?
done to both of you for
Good.
going when you had a
Exactly.
concern.
Yeah.
Because many
100%.
times women downplay it, they don't go, and then the outcomes aren't good.
No, I'm sorry. I'd rather be safe than
Better
sorry.
safe than sorry.
Because you know, the first time I
Absolutely.
went in, you know, like when you get used to the routine. Like when they get bigger, you get used to that routine. They're awake at this time. You know they're gonna be awake at that time. They start kicking at a certain time. You eat chocolate, they start kicking like crazy. You have something cold, they kick like crazy. And then when it just doesn't happen,
It's worrying.
you're literally like, whoa.
Yeah, what's going on?
Wallahi, it's the most scariest thing. And you know, because you can't hear the heartbeat yourself, it's so scary. So I went in the first time, and then the lady was like, if it ever happens again,
You come shit.
even if it's just for a short period of time, run back.
That's a good midwife.
That's a
And when she
fantastic
said that, it made me feel, she goes, it doesn't matter how many times you come back.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, but what if this happens again? She was like, even if you come and she starts moving here, come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The amount of money I
To be
spent on
honest, as a
Ubers.
midwife myself, even if as a midwife myself, if you came to see me and you called an issue to say your baby was not moving,
Yeah.
or haven't felt baby move, and your baby just started moving there and then, I still would want to put you on the monitor.
Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
I'd still want to put you on the monitor just to see
100%.
for a little while
Oh, wow.
what your baby is doing.
I feel like triage, and they like we answer calls. So triage is just when we triage ladies, and I've answered her, "Hi there, you know, my name's Nusi," all that spiel. "Hi there, my baby hasn't moved for 5 days."
5 days!
And I'm
It
just
actually
like,
really pisses me
okay.
off, I can't lie.
But you know me, I'm actually the type to, because I want to understand what the rationale behind is. You know me, sometimes I do too much. Okay, fine. Is that because your placenta's at the front? Is it that you're not, has your baby established a pattern? How many weeks are you? Is it that you're too early? I'll ask all the question. And when I come to the damn conclusion that actually you are full term and actually you just decided not to come in, I'll be like, right, I need you to come in. And when they do come in, I'm a little bit like, right, baby's okay. But let me just tell you, like, honestly,
You cannot do that.
this should be the first and the last time.
5 days though.
Yeah, I've had ladies say 5 days. I haven't a full time, and I just thought, why?
How you sleep at night? I wouldn't be able to sleep at
you
night.
meet women that come in and be like, yeah, I've had some waters leaking for about a week now. You know,
I don't know. Yeah.
What?
But then that's the whole. That's why we want to educate so that they know. Because she was just like, oh my goodness, I didn't realize that this is attributed to like stillbirth.
Was
for
this
example.
was this her first child though?
This is her 4th child, so that's why it makes more
Girl.
sense. Because she thought, I can't leave these other damn kids at home. I actually need to, you know. She probably thought, you know, some ladies are just like, my baby's not moving. They want to come in because they need a break from home. Honestly, some of them they need a break.
does feel like a holiday.
And I'm like, girl, I'll keep you for 2 hours. Don't worry. If that's what you want, mummy. That's what we're gonna
Break
do.
from the husband and the kids.
Honestly,
Admit me.
I've had ladies just be like, can you book my next follow-up appointment at 3:15 around school run? I can get my husband to do it. I've had ladies that love that. About 3:25.
She's smart.
I love that.
Literally.
That's so funny.
Like, they know what they're doing. But no, please, like, everyone, please, if you're pregnant and baby's not moving, come in. We'd rather you come in 1,500 times, even though
And
it feels
everything
like
be
it's a
fine,
nuisance.
rather than not.
Yeah.
But question,
Mm.
so if they come in lots of times because of the lack of movement, that was one of the reasons why they said I couldn't go to the birthing centre and I had to go to the labour ward. So does that go against you when you want to go to the labour
don't think
ward?
you
Or
should
sorry,
see
the
it as-
birthing centre?
Yeah. I don't think you should see it as it's going against you.
Okay.
It can impact
But yes, it will change
your
what they recommend
Yeah.
Okay.
for your birthing preferences, where you have your baby, and what happens in the periods to come.
yeah.
Okay.
Because we don't know why. We don't always know why. Why is it that a baby's decided to change up the pattern or not move? And why is it repetitive? What's going on? Like, is there a cord around the neck?
Okay.
That actually, do we need to do continuous monitoring during labour? Because actually, contractions, when you think about it on a general scheme, is actually an insult in the sense that it's a stress that we've just put on baby. It's normal physiological response, but it's a stress, you know? And actually, in a situation where baby was not stressed, living life, eating, drinking, weeing, sleeping, and you stopped moving, could you imagine when we add something that's a little bit more, you know, of a stressor?
I
you know?
hear it. Okay.
Life
Yeah.
stress to it.
Yeah.
Is it going to react the same way? So that's more so the rationale, just so we can have a close monitoring. But equally, you could speak to like a consultant midwife that might just say, look, listen, if you really want to go on the birth centre, absolutely fine. Let's just put a
proper
plan in place.
Okay.
You know, so that you're
Yeah.
fully informed and you can actually birth where you want really, but just need to make sure that you've got a plan in place. with
Yeah.
the
'Cause,
consultant.
Okay, I gave birth 5 years ago, and from my experience, it didn't feel like going into this trust that it was my choice. Like, I could do what I wanted. It felt like they told me, no, this is what you're going to do, and this is where you're going to do it, basically. So when you guys are saying, like, it's your body, your choice, like, you can choose where you want to go, it kind of feels like news to me, you know? I'm like,
I'm like,
what?
swear.
Since when?
Yeah. But sometimes I feel like it's time's changing because, like, there's been women that they've got their own birth plan. They want a free birth at home. So that means they don't want any of us there. They want to just be
Any
at
healthcare
home.
professional.
But we are in the hospital and we're twitching. We're like, hey, we don't know about this. We don't know about it. We're twitching. We just wanted to come in. We wanted to put on a monitor because she's had no access to healthcare. Or
No
for example, she's no
scans,
scans, nothing. We don't know what we're
no
walking
bloods,
into.
Swear.
Nothing. So
Why?
we're a little bit twitchy because we just don't want to.
That's their preference.
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
So wait,
And-
free birth, even throughout pregnancy, they don't do scans, nothing. They
Some
just
people don't.
Some people don't.
people
Some
don't.
free birthers don't. Yeah.
Do they think that it has a negative effect on the baby? Or they just don't
I
want to
feel
be
like
involved?
Some of the things that I've read in terms of people that free birth is just the natural cycle of life.
Okay.
And actually, they just feel like it's a natural and normal thing.
Yeah.
And that they feel like actually when you come into like these places, we're medicalizing things and we're almost looking for problems that aren't even there and creating one because of it in the process, basically.
Okay.
So a lot of women sometimes it's literally a personal preference. They believe that their body is designed and it is designed
It
to
is,
do
yeah.
Yeah, I hear
what
it.
it's going to do. You know,
I
either
hear
what
it.
goes up must come down. Do you know? At the end of the day, it is a natural kind of response. But I think, some women just do not want to access. Or sometimes it's because of their previous experience, maybe. Maybe they've had
Yeah.
traumatic birth experience. And they're just
Yeah.
like,
Maybe they've
I actually
heard
have no
somebody that's
trust.
had a traumatic
Yeah.
experience. I've met women who've had a fear of childbirth because of what their mothers have been through with
Yeah.
childbirth,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so it's a really
Varied,
yeah.
the people's reasons behind it. Girl, I'm waiting for you to get to your third born.
Yeah, hello.
Oh,
Hey.
I didn't even
Drum roll,
realize.
please.
Hey,
So
girl.
my
And was
third
it the best
baby.
one of
Absolutely the best experience I've ever had in my entire life of living.
I love that.
My third baby was born October last year, so he's 7 months old now. He'll be 8 months very soon.
Mashallah.
And Nusi was my midwife.
Oh.
Nusi to do with my baby.
the honour was mine.
It was honestly, obviously, I couldn't have asked for a better midwife. She was everything I needed her to be in every single moment. She was my friend when I needed her to be. She was my sister when I needed her to be. My mum couldn't be present at this birth. She was honestly my mum. When my mum went there, she was literally holding me. And she was my midwife when she needed to be
This
as well.
is so
And
wholesome.
sometimes I look back, I'm like, oh my God, did I put too much pressure on you? I'm so sorry if I said anything wrong to you and if I made you feel any way to do whatever. But because I just love her in it and I don't want her to feel stressed out and everything. And it can be difficult taking care of somebody that you love,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So, but she did a fantastic job. And
Do you know what?
we've had a lot of funny
laugh.
experiences.
Like I would
I'm gonna
honestly
cry, this
say,
is so
no, it
beautiful.
was honestly so amazing. Like I feel like, I generally enjoy. I'm a labour ward midwife, kind of like at core. I do think I'm a labour ward midwife as opposed to like anywhere else. because I just love it, you know, and I do build really good rapport. I'm like friends with a lot of my mummies that I've delivered. I probably shouldn't say this, but I am. But your birth was probably one of the best births. It was just so funny.
It was
just so
Yeah,
funny. Like, I
yeah.
couldn't stop laughing. Half the times I'd be like in the corner, I have to laugh, or she's doing something, and that's just making me laugh. And yeah, I really enjoyed that labour. Really, and I
did
feel
as
like
well.
it just gave me, because I've had an experience where she was basically the first time. Well, you wasn't really the first one. I've looked after other colleagues, but in that kind of capacity, close friend capacity, was the first one that I've looked after fully from start to finish. And I've had experiences where, you know, unfortunately for other circumstances, I haven't been that advocate for a friend at the time. Yeah. And I think during that, because I had a friendship breakdown, and during that time, the friend said they didn't feel like I was a good midwife. They didn't feel like I had done anything. I actually didn't get to the labour and birth part with them. I just started literally, I think, up to 16 weeks of their pregnancy that I was seeing them. And they were really unhappy about the kind of care that I was giving them. And I didn't realise how much trauma that had given me. I'm actually not going to cry.
No, don't, because I've actually got makeup and mascara on today.
But I think it gave me a lot of trauma, because I felt like if there's one thing I pride myself with is me being a midwife. So then when, fast forward to Sarah's birth, like after the delivery, I broke down with her. Like she knows, but we literally had the biggest breakdown.
She was
of a
literally
cry.
like, baby boy was just lying down there, and they were just obviously doing everything else that they needed to do. And I think when the storm had calmed now, and nobody was in the room anymore, my husband was just there. I think my husband wanted to get food or something. He was out of the room. And I think that was the moment for everything was fine with me. Everything was fine, baby. Everyone was settled. Everything was just sorted. And Nusi just looked at the baby and she was like, I can't believe he's here. And we just like crying together. I was like, Nusi, stop.
It was so emotional.
I think, was Navi in the room?
Yeah, Navi.
I think one of our colleagues that work with, who's a midwife, he's a male midwife, and he's honestly so amazing. He was there. I think he was trying to candidate me. He came to congratulate me as well, but then sort of pulled him in.
And he just thought, girls, you guys.
Yeah, we were just literally crying. We were just sobbing. I mean, I understand my hormones are everywhere. I was like, Nusi. But bless her, she had been up. So obviously she does a 9 to 5 role. So she did 9 to 5.
Yeah.
It was a different experience for me because I had to be induced. The baby wasn't moving.
Yeah,
wasn't
not moving. Cheeky
but
little man.
wallahi, when I tell you, I actually couldn't. I was like, is it really? Okay, because I knew Nusi was my midwife. If it was anyone else, I'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm going to have an induction. I've always said I would say no to induction. I don't care. No. I'm just that type of person, you know. But Nusi was, I was like, is it? I'm having induction. Okay, no problem, yeah. Is it really? Okay, yeah. Everything was,
Nusi's
okay,
got
yeah.
me.
Everything's
got
like,
me.
okay, yeah. You want to put the drip on? Oxytocin? No problem, yeah. Yeah. Everything was, because Nusi was there. Wallahi, like Nusi was there, and it just made everything so much better. And I was going to say something just before that, though.
That we started off the induction process.
Yeah,
I started off before I went back home.
Yeah,
to
so
rest of it.
9 to 5. We started off the induction process. I was waiting around on the antenatal ward, and then eventually when I went to labour ward, I let Nusi know. I think it was just before midnight, around 11 p.m. And another colleague of mine was looking after, which she was lovely as well. And the breaking of the waters happened, which was absolutely, for me, I was like, I can't believe that this is what it feels like. That's the one
thing I feel like you remembered of the
Yeah,
whole
yeah, yeah.
delivery.
I was
Like,
like,
she highlights that
I
quite
break
a bit.
waters all the time, and
Yeah.
women's reactions usually are like, okay, yeah, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
It's
Or
horrible.
some people are like, oh yeah, that was painful. Some people are like, yeah, it was uncomfortable. For me, it was honestly so horrific. You know, I
It was
like, what's
horrific
going
for me
on?
as well.
Really?
I was like, what is
Horrific.
going on?
You know what I said to Sarah, because before I left, because we didn't really need to do much induction agents. We didn't need to do much because she was already kind of dilated. But I said to her, look, listen, like when I did the examination, I was like, you are like 2. We can stretch to 2, but actually we've got to go up a little bit. Like, you know, baby's head's still a little bit high. So I said to her, I feel personally quite confident to break that waters, just get someone experienced on that side, because, you know, like it can be a bit tricky.
Yeah.
So when she turned around and was like, no, stop, I thought, I need to go. How dare I leave her?
I feel like the waters were broken, and Nusi planted her number all over the labour ward coordinator's board, like, call me if anything progresses. I literally feel like the water was broken, Nusi was there. Like, I literally feel like she was open. I was like, Nusi!
I was driving like a mad. I was like,
she didn't even sleep. Like,
and this the whole time.
Oh, Miskeen.
My husband, babe, your phone's ringing. I was like, yeah. Hello, she's
bless
like,
him, he was on call.
He was on call.
Sat with Nusi all night. Honestly, I don't believe in luck. I believe in fate. Yeah. It was meant to be, and
That's so
there's
beautiful.
absolutely wallahi nothing that I would change. you know, some people say, oh, I wish I wasn't induced and I wish that happened. There's literally nothing I would change.
Yeah.
Nothing, absolutely nothing.
Was
It
the
a great
feeling of the
experience.
contractions worse in the induction than it was with your other
So
two?
basically, initially, so when my waters were broken, my contractions were coming on their own. They weren't as long and as often as they should be for somebody to progress in labour.
Okay.
But then we thought, you know what, she's had 2 babies before. It's been a big gap because my son was 8.
Yeah.
He was 8?
Oh,
Yeah, he was
wow.
8 and then I had the baby 8 months ago. So it's quite a big gap as well.
Yeah.
But they were happy to sort of let my body go with it. You never know, she might just crack and whatever. And I wasn't progressing as I should.
It's a little bit stalled, I would say.
Yeah, it was a little bit stalled. At one point, I
But the
remember not having
contractions slowed
contractions.
down,
They
yeah.
slowed down. They were like almost non-existent, and eventually they had to put the drip. So I said to Nusi, I said, "Oh my god, like, do you think I should get the epidural?" I think we had a discussion about epidural. I never had epidural before. Remember the 2 babies before born in birth centre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't want an epidural. I'll try the drip without.
Anything.
Through people's reaction, women that I've taken care of, because personally I didn't have the oxytocin drip before that point, right?
Yeah.
Through women's reaction who have it without, they are in a great deal of discomfort and pain. You know, some women like to try it first, and then if it's too much, they get the epidural after. Some women are like epidural
Absolutely
first, then,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
gain order, you know. I think I went on the drip.
I'm on a
It
trip
was-
for a good 4 hours, I
Oh
would
my
say.
God, all of a sudden it came in waves. At one point,
It's so bad, isn't
throughout
it?
the whole of the labour in the beginning, I had a wooden cone to
Yeah.
use, and it helped until it didn't help. I
Oh
literally
my
dashed
God.
it off the room.
Honestly.
We had so many funny moments. I dashed it. This is like, hey, it's like, stop doing anything. Do what it's supposed to do. I
I
think
was
at
like,
that
throw it
point-
in. Throw it.
I think I don't even know how I even came back home with that cone because I've got it. I don't know. I thought I lost it. You
I
know.
think I picked it up, put it in your bag, but you dashed it.
I was just
far.
completely. Yeah. At that point, I was tired.
Yeah.
The oxytocin was it was doing what it was supposed to do. It was giving me contractions regularly.
Just back to back to back.
And I
think.
remember
my
Nusi
gosh.
checked me and she was like, okay. And I already know that, okay. So, okay, yeah. I said, well, what is it, Nusi? What is your finding?
No, but I gassed you up. But the thing is,
she was
she's
like,
a
do you know
midwife.
what? It's 7 centimetres, but it's more. I was like, I can't believe I'm 7 centimetres. I can't do
Because you'd been
7
for
centimetres.
6. I know it was. I think it was 6 centimeters. Because you went from 6
6.
fully.
Oh,
Yeah.
Really? I just
Yeah.
remember thinking, now looking back in hindsight, that's fantastic.
That's
7
amazing.
centimetres is
Yeah.
bloody fantastic. But
really
in the
good.
time, it's like I really needed to be told that actually I can see your baby's head, it's coming now. That's what I
Yeah,
needed.
that's what you
And that's what we would
Yeah.
expect because of how she's progressed. We thought, you know, she's been 6 hours on the strip, you know. But like I said, every birth is different.
It's
And these
so
third ones are
different.
a little bit, they're a
bit
little sneaky,
naughty.
they're a little bit cheeky sometimes.
Wow.
But yeah, I feel like, yeah.
I think when Nusi checked me and she said that, and I was just like, okay. But then, wallahi, inside I was thinking, oh, but I thought it's fine. Nusi's here. How long can Nusi be standing for? Like, bless her. Even if that baby was born at the midnight after, she'd still be there. Everything was like, it's fine because Nusi's here. And then I think the coordinator came to sort of just assess as well to see what she can advise. I think she asked me, do you want me to do a sweep for you? I said, do whatever you need to do because I literally cannot do this anymore. So she gave a big, massive sweep. And then the contractions
came
were
back to back.
crazy. They were back to back.
I was like, no, that's the time.
I'm literally, I'm clenching. I'm like,
That's the time when she asked for an epidural, but it was the fun. Oh, I shouldn't have laughed, but I did. She literally was like, I want an epidural. I said, hello. She wants an epidural. Get an epidural now. Yeah, I'm going to get it. I was just
She was speaking to people that weren't even there. She was like, hello, epidural. Thank you. No one's even there. Oh, I need an epidural. I need an epidural. Because I'd reached my top. Like, I couldn't do it anymore, you know?
Goodness.
And the anaesthetist, it's almost like she was waiting outside for me.
Yeah.
Maybe she heard me screaming, I don't know. So she came in, she's like, hi, oh, Sahra, you okay? I was like, I don't need to, I don't have time for this.
Pleasantries.
Nusi literally got that 1 second to go and empty her bladder, bless her. She could just hear from the anaesthetist was like, so Sahra, I know you're a midwife here, so would you like me to go through? I said, no. She's like, so you're happy to have the epidural, you know the something? Yes! I was like, why is the epidural not in now? You know?
I was in the bathroom. When I heard her saying that, I swear I was like on the floor. I was in stitches. I was like, I shouldn't laugh at her. But I could just hear from the bathroom.
Why is she asking me too many questions? Just put the bloody epidural in. Wallahi.
But then I said to myself, I said, no.
I
My friend
lost
has
it from
changed.
there. I
Because
couldn't come back
something's
down. That yes,
Something's
yes.
happened.
I didn't come back down.
didn't.
I was like,
She was still
oh
there.
my God, where's
Yes,
the epidural?
yes,
She was like,
something's not right.
something. Yeah, something.
Because she's been like obviously she's been in
I was
pain,
able
but she
to
was.
sort of bring
You
myself
could talk
back.
to her and she'll be like, "All right, man," and she might even make a little joke as well.
So-
but then
but
I
she
was like,
stayed in that panic
Yeah, and I was
kind
like,
of-
no, I think she's transitioning. And then the doctor was like, no, but anaesthetist was like, no, but she wants an epidural. I said, I'm going to examine her again. Yeah, I'm going to examine her again. But they've literally just examined her. I said, I know my friend. Yeah, I will call you if I need you. I literally said to her, I was like, Sarah, I think you're fully, like, we need to.
Oh my God.
But
I'm
before
sorry,
I even
Lucy,
checked
don't just
the head-
say that. Just be
I was
honest.
like, wallahi, honestly, why I think you are. I didn't even have to examine. I said, okay, he's coming, just breathe. Wait, I haven't got gloves. Wait, I need the second
It's
person.
not even just the gloves. The second person wasn't there. My husband left the
Wasn't
room.
there. Everyone wasn't there.
my
I said,
God.
Ya Allah.
I remember Nusi. So anyway, the second midwife came, and at one point I just completely everyone was saying zoned out.
Yeah.
I was in my own world, and I was pushing. Nusi was like, Zay, we're just waiting for your husband. We're just waiting for your husband because I said,
Husband,
Do you
where?
No, you need to actually.
Am I gonna hold
No,
this baby?
you actually not even lying because at one point, yeah, I literally was just like, say, just breathe, just wait.
Bless
Just,
my
then
the other
in the
midwife
end,
was trying to call my
call him.
husband.
In the end, I said, you know what? Yeah, forget this. Why should I subject my best friend to pay? Push. I said, push.
I was just like, and then at one point again, I started panicking because I think I was crowning, wasn't I? I was like, I don't know what to do. And then I think Nusi told when there was a student midwife there as well. I'm happy to clearly have like a show. Student midwife was there as well, and I think Nusi sort of gave her the eye to take the gas and air away from me because I wasn't in the room.
Yeah,
I wasn't.
yeah.
I was away. Like
The
my
fairies.
mind wasn't
Oh,
there,
I hear
and
it.
Nusi was fine. Like she couldn't communicate with me. And then when I heard her say that, I said, no! I was like, no, I'm going to listen. What do you want to tell me? What do you want to tell me? And she's like, the baby's head said, but you need to slow it down a little bit. And I was like, yeah, I got to do it, but I need the gas and I I'm so scared.
I was like, give it to her. I've had enough of this. I was like, give it to her.
And then she gave it to me, but then I didn't listen, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
And then he was born shortly after. I think as the head was coming out, my husband was also walking in the room.
Oh.
Yeah. And then she was like,
Look, like, I know I just keep saying it over and over again, yeah. If that was any other midwife, I'd probably be so upset that my husband's not there. I'd be like, where is he? Nusi was there, that was enough.
That's so sweet.
Wallahi, it was like, Nusi's here, that's it. That's
Her presence
It
and the
was
support she was
really
giving you was
lovely.
enough in that
It
moment.
was everything
was
that
really
one
lovely.
needs.
Oh my God, do you mind if I say? Do you know what? Sarah always speaks about this. Yeah, you can cut it out. She doesn't want it. But she just kept saying that she just felt like pain in her bum, like that, because obviously baby was looking upwards.
Oh God, yeah, he was
The
not in
whole
most
of that
best
labour,
position.
if I can remember anything, anytime Sarah had a contraction, I'd hold her bum hole. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'd literally
she
be like,
literally,
yeah,
would be like, that's
right,
it.
yeah,
And
support.
wallahi, I don't
That's
think
how
you
we
guys
did
understand
labour from start to
how
finish.
much it helped.
Oh,
It helped.
Okay.
Honestly, Nusi, the contractions coming. Yeah.
it's just cut the bum hole.
Literally,
Showed it.
and it's almost like, it's so weird because it's almost like, I don't know how to explain it. If you're dropping something, but then you've got a hand, it's almost like counter pressure.
Oh,
It's like she wasn't even putting too much pressure. It was almost like just,
It was
but it was
just
the
just
most
having a hand there.
soothing feeling.
Oh my
We
God.
had to do that from
Does
start
that-
to finish.
There's no TMI between you two.
No,
Absolutely. There's none. You held a bum hole. There's no TMI
I said,
between you
I
two.
said, don't ever disrespect me. I'll hold your ass.
Literally.
There is no disrespect.
Had your ass in my hand.
I just in my
I
hand.
know how your bum hole looks like.
I never thought of it in that great detail.
Literally, I said, damn. But honestly, it was
Oh
it was so
my
amazing.
God. So were you trying to do that to
I just felt
reduce
like,
the tearing
No,
as
no,
well?
no. So
No,
this
we
was
wasn't
in the
pushing,
labour.
in labour.
This wasn't even the pushing
This was
part.
contractions.
Yeah. So
Oh, wow.
for how
Baby
many
wasn't
hours?
facing the best
Yeah, just looking
position.
up.
Position.
Yeah.
He was looking up as opposed to looking down,
So
which is
sometimes
a
you felt
better.
the pressure in the
Yeah,
back
the pressure
and the bum.
in the bum was really,
She's like,
really
Nusi,
bad.
I thought my ass was gonna rip into 2 pieces.
I literally thought that I was gonna.
Girl, I said, let's just hold this together.
Yeah.
Let's just hold this together.
Literally.
Quite literally hold it
No,
together.
but honestly, guys, like, I'm a C-section mum, innit?
Bless
Right?
you.
So I haven't experienced I've experienced like, I would say about 15 hours of contractions, but then it was an emergency
Girl, that's a lot,
C-section.
yeah.
That was with my first. But when I hear your stories, because you gave us a show.
Yeah.
Listen, I felt like I was in the room. Yeah? She was
We do
doing
tell
like
a good
different
story.
voices, the acting. I mean, the acting. Like, for me, I'm just thinking, are you traumatized by that? Because what do you mean? You felt like...
What's at all? Wallahi, like,
But that's the
can't,
mercy that
wow.
comes with
I
I can't say that
gives
any
that
of it,
mercy.
any of it was traumatizing for me.
Wow.
In the time, I felt at one point I remember lying down there, and this is somebody who's a midwife, who's a mother, who's had babies before.
Yeah.
I was lying there, and I was in so much pain, and I thought the quickest way to stop this pain is if I request a Cat 1 emergency cesarean section where they actually put me to sleep. That is the only way to stop this pain. But I think, like Nusi said, at that point I was transitioning. The baby was really coming. At that point, it's a typical behaviour to be like, I can't do this, I can't do this, you know, because you're just at that finish line. But when I look back now, I can look back and I look back at it with so much like, oh, I can't believe that was my experience. I've had a fantastic experience.
That's so
obviously
beautiful.
in the time.
Because the pain is still there, even if it's a positive experience, it's still painful.
the pain
right?
This is what it's so
exactly.
interesting, because a lot of people, what we might be like, oh, that was a beautiful birth. They'd be like, that was the most traumatic birth they've ever had in their entire life.
Yeah.
But it's so weird, because actually we're thinking everything it couldn't have been any more textbook, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But actually for them, that experience it's quite traumatizing when you think about it. It's a big thing that's happening.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a
quite
massive
literally, it's a
thing.
big thing
It's a
that's
massive
happening.
thing.
So, and their life is about to change, because not only are you birthing babies, but birthing mothers, you know?
Yeah.
This is something new for them. So it can be quite traumatizing for them. So what we might sit there and be like, that was actually fantastic. They're just like, no, I'm actually quite traumatized and I need to be sitting under maternity trauma care. You know, they're really like, so I think it's just understanding what kind of drives different people's traumas and supporting with that, because there's some births that I've just been there and thought, this was amazing. If I had any birth, I'd want it to be like that. And they're just like, I need enhanced postnatal care. And I'm like, okay, fine. You know?
Yeah.
So it's very different.
It's perception is a big thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like we perceive
100%.
something one way, and the woman that you're caring for has perceived something, and it might not be anything that you've done, but just labour itself, it's taxing.
It's
Oh my
so
goodness.
traumatizing.
Guys.
Yeah.
I'm very traumatized. I can't
I
lie
didn't
to you.
even reach
Even
the
5 years later.
crowning. I didn't even reach the
Yeah.
crowning and the pushing and just the contractions alone. I felt like I was gonna meet my Lord. I'm not
It's
gonna
so
lie.
interesting that you
I
you
felt
can
like I
still-
was gonna
you
die.
still remember that.
I
Yeah.
do.
Because sometimes I always say it's a mercy of Allah for you to forget, because people get pregnant again.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, oh no, I'm not doing it ever again. 19 months after crowning again, they're saying the same thing. You know?
Listen,
You know?
I've been screaming up and down on this podcast. I'm one and done.
She
I
has.
gave
She
birth a
has.
year ago.
Yeah.
you.
But alhamdulillah, the 3-year age gap is perfect for me.
Really?
Because by the time Adam came along, Jenna was potty trained, a bit more independent. I was like, alhamdulillah, because my worst thing was I couldn't do like two
under two.
nappies and 2 bottles. I couldn't do all of that.
2
but
under 2 is
alhamdulillah.
mad.
But really and truly, it was given accident because I did not expect.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.
But alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, like, yeah, man, here we are with 2 kids.
Oh, alhamdulillah.
No, for me, I think I'm really, really traumatized, like with the whole like birth, with even labor. Like I'm the one that would be like, I'm scared, I'm really sad the whole time, and I'm the same as you. I needed a midwife that would be like, let's take a deep breath, let's think about this, let's talk. Okay, these are your options. We're gonna do this, and I did. I had one of those who was really nice. Everyone else was horrible. I had one really nice lady, and then she just left. And the whole time I was like, "Where's that woman gone? Bring her back!" The whole time.
We were just saying quite recently as well, you know, with especially in the time of labour and childbirth and early postpartum and all that, women might not remember exactly what's been said to them or done to them, but they remember how they feel.
Yeah.
And that's something that you carry.
Yeah,
You know?
it is.
So I'm so sorry that was your experience.
Yeah.
Like it's honestly, it first of all pisses me off
Yeah.
when women say that they had horrible midwives.
Yeah.
And it just makes me feel so sad because we didn't come into this job
We didn't
for the money. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
chicken change.
Yes.
Yeah, it's given chicken change.
yes, it's
We
a
come
lot
there
of
because
hard
do you
labor
get?
for not a lot of money.
The dua and the blessings we get from Allah is what's making up for the pay cut.
Fairs.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Fairs.
You know what, I'm just being kind of raw and honest. There's been times where if in a labour, maybe a woman says something that I just feel like, oh my goodness, this is really stressing me out right now. But I'm understanding to the fact that actually she's going through something quite great. And she had an epidural that she felt like wasn't working properly down one side, or I think she was just feeling a bit pressure.
Sorry.
And I remember she was like, oh,
really
and
know
I
what
wasn't
she's
even
gonna
her, I actually wasn't her midwife. I was a floater, so I just came in to just break relief for a little bit.
Yeah.
So I came in, I was like, hi, my name's Nusi, I've been looking after you. You know, I felt like we were trying to build rapport. I was trying to suss her out as well, because I didn't know if I was her cup of tea, kind of, because it's so important to just gel, and I like to think that I'm adaptable, and I will. You want to talk? We talk.
Listen,
you don't
you're
want to
lit.
talk? Let's sit.
I'm meeting you for the first time.
Girl.
Your vibes.
Vibes.
Your vibes.
But when I went in, she was just like, my jaw's not working today. I said, okay, why don't we get the nieces? No, I don't want to. I said, okay, should we try different positions? No. Everything. No, I don't want to. No. I said, listen, what do you want to do? Because whatever you want to do is what we're going to do. Give me a hug. I had to check myself real quick. Very quickly. And she was like, listen,
Give me a
what
hug.
do you want to do? Because whatever you want to do is what we're going to do. Give me a hug. And I gave her a
woman
hug.
really thought she was.
And she was just like, thank you so much. I said, yeah. But I had to check myself because in the moment I felt like, God, I'm trying to give you everything, but you're not really.
For a second, you were like,
no, you're biting my head off. And I just thought, if I could do the epidural, I'd actually spinal you right now, but I can't. I don't have the
We'll
skill.
sort it out for you right
I'd
now.
sort it out for you. So actually, I can see where in moments people might get a little bit, but that is, I'm sorry, there's just no excuses for it.
Yeah.
There's no excuse for it.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no excuse for it. Like Sarah was saying, like when people say they've had quite traumatic experiences, not because of the birth, but because of how someone has made them feel.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Who are you? Who are you? Not honestly,
Because
who are you?
every woman knows that there's gonna be pain, right?
Yeah.
They just need that like support from the midwife, just a
reassurance,
bit of kindness
yeah.
and compassion, a little bit.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
and I
Empathy.
just feel like
That empathy.
I just feel like when I say who are you, I just feel like how dare you? Because actually, it's the honor is truly ours, really, to look after. Thank you for letting us look after you. We wouldn't have our jobs without you guys, really.
Yeah.
So when a woman is vulnerable, the most vulnerable she'll ever be, she's literally their legs sprawl out, everything out there, everyone's seeing everything like just 4K,
Trust me.
Yeah.
and you want to treat
Then
her
be
with disrespect.
rude?
One thing my
Horrible?
sister, she's had kids before. One thing she'll say is she's just like, I can be in whatever pain, but ain't no one finna talk to me like I'm some anyhow.
Yeah, facts.
Exactly.
She will literally, there's times where she's like, listen, she'll have to bad up a midwife.
I had to bad them up as well. I had to as well. Yeah, it's
And I
mad.
was like, in that
And it's
order.
just so bad that it's so sad, not bad,
Yeah.
it's so sad that you have to also do that as well as labour.
It's so
Yes.
mad. Do you know what? For me, it felt like they were a bit desensitized to women's pain and desensitized to
Her experience
the experience that they're seeing. So
Yeah.
when I'm there, like feeling like I'm about to meet my maker, I'm like one step from death, and then she's like, "This is how it's gonna be," and like all she's saying to me, like she's going like, and I'm going rah, like you're doing up, you're a student midwife. You're gonna be somebody's midwife soon, you know. You're doing up.
Student
She's just in the
midwives.
beginning.
Students,
Listen.
I was told to leave. How dare you? Hello.
I've even allowed you to be here. They
you
asked
imagine?
me for my
Consent,
consent.
yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I've let you be here.
Yeah.
And you're doing up.
Usually, I mean, in my own personal humble experience,
No, but nowadays they're changing up today.
Is it?
There's some student midwives I've
I
actually
would
been
say
like,
student midwives are actually quite fantastic
Listen.
to have in a room. They're quite supportive.
they
They quite hold your
are.
hand
They're
kind of
great.
people.
They are great.
Maybe that's what you're saying. That's what
She
you're
had
saying.
to, you know, the
How's she
CTG
tired
machine.
of it already?
Yeah, she had to. But to be fair, she had to hold the CTG machine because my baby kept moving around.
I'll be
that's
tired as
still-
well.
So she was like this for maybe about 20 minutes, but she still did up.
No, but
and I'm
yeah,
thinking that's your
not okay.
job.
That is, yeah,
That is
literally.
literally your job.
And student, like Sarah was saying, student midwives are literally, they are really good.
It's the
like,
Gen Z ones. I'm telling you, they're different, bruv.
They're
These lot are different.
I had to bad up a student midwife.
She
before,
said
and I
I'd be
I love it because I'm a mentor, so I love it. I actually love it. And I'm like, yeah, make it exciting. And I love when because they've really got that true, fresh spark in their eyes, right?
Yeah.
And it just always keeps mine alive, alhamdulillah. And I do love looking after students. There has been some students who they've been a bit like, I don't know, a little bit like, yeah, I can't lie to you. I've been qualified for X amount of time, and actually,
You need to bring it down
You
a
need to
notch.
bring about 2 notches. This is too much. Or like if they're saying something, yeah, a woman's at the desk asking for support. She's like, first of all, the chewing gum she's been chewing. The chewing gum she's been chewing, she's still chewing it. Yeah, well, you have to just wait till your midwife can give you pain with it. Yeah, but why don't you? And I said, hi, sorry, can I help you with anything? Oh, my midwife, she said she was going to give me pain relief, but she hasn't. I think she's gone on her break. Can I support? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Let me give her. Went to go give her pain relief, and I came back to listen very carefully. If a woman comes and asks for pain relief, obviously you can't give it, right? Escalate it. I'm sitting here. You could be like, Nusi, can you help with? Or go and get someone. You know, chewing. You're lucky you don't bite your cheeks. Yeah. And I just
Someone's
feel
in
like it's not-
pain.
Someone's in pain. It's not
Yeah, that's
okay.
why I'm saying it feels a bit desensitized. You know, when you see
Yeah.
it every
We can't-
day.
I get the whole desensitized situation. When we're in a situation where we're doing the same thing day in, day out, 12 hours, day in, day out, you can become desensitized. But just to give like an example, when I'm doing the breaking of water, for example, I've done it so many times, but my reaction and my behaviour towards the women are the same. You can do this at any point. If you feel uncomfortable, you let me know.
Yeah.
Take that gas in there properly. Hello, partner, thank you. Hold her hand, thanks. Yeah. You know, and I've never had the breaking of waters. So when I had the breaking of waters, I was like,
horrific.
Is this what we do to women?
Yeah.
So it felt like
Do you know
that.
we had the
Vanilla.
same thing?
Although we feel desensitized in the sense of, yeah, we do this every day. Like, in my head, I might be thinking, yeah, we do this every day. Like, you're going to be
Yeah.
absolutely fine. I
Yeah.
wouldn't voice that. That's not what I'm going to tell the woman. That's
Yeah.
not going to give her any reassurance.
Yeah, in that moment.
It's not. And everyone's different. She might tolerate it. The next one might not.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And we need to come up with a different plan in that case, isn't
I
it?
agree with you. We had a midwife come on before, Fatima. Shout out to Fatima.
Shout out to Fatima.
She said that before she had her son, that whenever a woman would be like, oh my God, I'm in so much pain, like she'd be like, oh, you know, there's nothing else really I can help you with. And then she goes, when I was in that position, she was like, it was so bad. And then when the midwife said to me, oh, there's not really nothing I can help you with, she goes, she nearly lost it. She was like, is this how I behave towards women that are giving birth? And she said she had to really check herself
And it's good that
and
she was
like
able to
fully
reflect.
check
That's
herself
really
and go
good.
back. And now she's like, I give them 100% compassion because now I really understand like how bad it is.
I always attribute to a toothache. And I feel like that's obviously I haven't had a baby
Toothaches
before.
are brutal.
So I feel like when I have a toothache, and someone came up to me and asked for pain relief, and they took an hour to come from that.
Toothaches are the
I'd
worst.
actually think I'd die subhanAllah.
Oh my
Inna lillahi wa
God.
inna ilaihi raji'un. I actually think I'd just pass out.
Yeah.
So actually, I attribute, and I can't even imagine it even being on the same level. So could you just imagine? I'm just like, you need pain relief. What can I give you? You know, what can I give you? Some women, they'll be like, I don't want anything. I don't want anything. What? And I'm just like, right, that's what we're going to do. We'll try to support you. In the moment, things can change. And then sometimes her partner will be like, but she said she doesn't. I said, that. She said she doesn't want it, but actually now she's asking for it. We need to re-counsel her. Don't tell me what to do. Hello, what would you like to do? Because some women are just like, they have an idea.
Yeah.
Especially when they haven't had a baby before. They have an idea about, you know, their birth preferences. They don't want anything, nothing. They just want to breathe. But actually in the moment from the first contraction, they're like, they want cesarean section or they want, you know, so
And
things
epidural
change.
or
So it's just about
gas in there or-
re-counselling them and just being like, these are your options because you don't know what you don't know.
Is it possible, literally, while you're having contractions, to be like, C-section, give me a C-section? How do they?
It is.
Is
It
it not going to
depends
be
what the
too late while they're
circumstances
prepping the surgery, and you're going through contractions?
Girl, you can have a cesarean section when the baby's head is basically just there.
Really?
If for an emergency
Well, they just
situation.
pull it back out this way.
Yeah, and that's actually quite dangerous.
It's
They
dangerous,
would
yeah, I wouldn't
always
recommend.
they would always try and do like an instrumental delivery first, but it's very dangerous to have a cesarean section that's fully dilated, but it can happen.
Yeah.
So if a woman's in labour and she wants to opt out because of pain, she just cannot manage the pain and she doesn't want an epidural, then I guess the doctor will just have to counsel her. Some doctors might just be a bit like,
She would need really proper counselling.
Yeah.
It depends how far along she is in the labour.
Exactly.
Actually, if the baby's head is there, then it's actually very risky to do cesarean section at 10
I mean, you're
centimeters
almost
when
there,
your
sis.
baby's head is
yeah,
there.
because you've got to
Yeah,
push
man.
it back up. You use the pillow. It's
fetal
just a
pillow.
fetal pillow that we inflate and it pushes the head back up and then you have to deliver the baby abdominally.
And,
so
yeah,
it's,
and it's associated
you know,
with
yeah.
risks for future pregnancies as well. You know, so
Yeah.
it's not it's not a matter of, oh, I want this. Yeah, okay, let's go. It's
Yeah.
not. You need
Needs to be
proper counselling.
counselled.
Proper.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I can understand.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, we have
Yes, let's do quick
Questions
fire.
questions
Yeah.
from our audience. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Let's
Should
do
we
quick
start-
fire questions.
Should we start nicey, or do you want to go straight for the juggler?
Let's go for the jugular.
Oh,
Wanna
is
go for the
it?
I'm that
juggler?
kind of gal. What would you want?
Go nice,
Do you know
nice.
what, this, okay, go on, start
Because
nice.
some of the girlies are not happy. Okay, they're not. Okay,
Let's try
okay, cool.
nicey,
So hold on.
nicey. Thanks, babe.
You want to go for the juggler, yeah?
All right, go on.
Go on then.
Go on.
Okay, should we do a mixture? Okay, fine.
You know
Okay,
what?
you
Do
pick
one
one, I'll pick
jugular,
one.
one
Yeah?
night.
One
Yeah, go.
Okay, this is crazy. Since you had an induction, this is crazy.
No.
But someone goes, "Is it true when you recommend an induction is to try and get mums off your books?"
Girl, let me
Crazy
tell you
work.
something. When
Crazy
we get them off
work.
that book, what book are we putting them on? Because they need to go somewhere. So it's gonna. If you're taking it from somewhere, you got to put it somewhere else.
Yeah. I don't really
No.
understand the
No.
nature of the question. Yeah, if an induction is
Yeah.
recommended, it's recommended for a reason.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
upon you to now go and do that research, have access to all the
Yeah.
information to make the decision, because you can accept or you can decline.
And it's a lot when you induce a lady, you induce them. There's different agents that you might have to try. That might not
Monitoring
work.
constantly.
Monitor.
Do this.
5 hours. You said. You know.
Yeah.
You know. Or then you got to wait for label for like 72 hours. It's a longer process actually than if say you just spontaneously went into labour
Yeah.
on your own or went to the birth centre. You can distribute that kind of flow, that bed flow. So actually, we wouldn't want to just put you on because it's a tick box
Yeah.
exercise, or it's just to get women off our backs really. Because if you're moving them from one book, you better damn sure have somewhere else to put them. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question that's not on here.
Go on.
What support do you give for neurodivergent mums?
We were just talking about that.
Me and Nusi actually, want to actually do a bit of training ourselves on how to better support neurodivergent mothers, and maybe even some insight on how to also include fathers that might be neurodivergent as well. Just so that when we do classes, whether it's antenatal, postnatal, labour and birth, it's tailored to them. So if they need a quieter setting, maybe we can have 1 or 2.
I've looked after someone in labour who was neurodivergent, and it's my experience is that everything was a bit more amplified.
Yeah.
So actually, whenever I do things, I would really just break it down. I'm talking like how I would say it to like your son, in layman terms.
Yeah.
Like,
Very,
so this
very
is what's
clear.
happening right now. So your tummy is going like, you're getting these what we call contractions. So it's getting tight and then it softens, get tight, and sometimes that tightening can be pain. And they'll be like whoosh, whoosh. I'm like, yes, like use the language that they better understand.
Yeah.
And we did that throughout the whole of labour.
Wow.
But and that's because I do have nieces and nephews that are neurodivergent. So for me, I know what works, but I don't know what works for everyone.
Yeah.
So I just apply what I think might work. But if they don't understand, they'll tell you. They'll just be a bit like confused, a bit like what, And so I feel like it's important that we all know how to. Some people might find them difficult and be like, oh, it's difficult, so I don't want to look after. But that's not good enough.
No, it's
That's
not.
not.
Absolutely
That's
not.
And it's actually not acceptable, really.
Yeah.
So I think it's upon us to just try and obviously do that training so that we can just support. Because actually, I can't lie to you, I feel like half of us are neurodivergent anyways.
Yeah.
Like, it's,
I agree.
People have different needs, whether it's a learning need, like learning disabilities, or it's physical disability, or it's, autism or ADHD.
Yeah.
Women, like one time I said something to a lady who was when I was an antenatal midwife, and when I was explaining something, I said it I think it was too literal for her. She was ADHD, and she was just a bit like, what does that mean? When you said that, but you said that, and I was just like, no. What I meant was this, and that. So I had to go back and pull myself back.
That's
so
me.
obviously, if I did that training, then I might have known how to better articulate myself.
But then also, I think it's really good what you said, just really tuning into who the woman that you're looking after is, and seeing the words that they use around the type of languages that they use, and try and sort of enter their world to the best of your capabilities. I remember I looked after a neurodivergent lady once, and she had learning difficulties, and so did her partner. And I think her mum was there to support her as well, and her mum was so lovely. They were all really, really lovely, bless them. And I remember, because I'm the type of person, I don't even know how to put it in words, but I answer for people in my head. Oh my God, I'm not going to be good enough for them because I might not understand what she needs from me, and I might not this. And I say that about even taking care of like bereaved parents. Like, I don't know, if I say the wrong thing, that's really going to haunt me, and I don't want to say the wrong thing. And I overthink things quite a lot in my head. But sometimes you're in a situation, I'm not going to say, no, I'm not going to look after this person because she's got a learning difficulty. Actually, it'd be a bloody honour, So I looked after her in labour, and I think I met her at a point where she was already halfway through, bless her. She was doing really, really great. And like everyone was just twitching outside. Like the doctors were ready. They were like, she's probably going to need, like there was already the conversation was like, she's probably going to need insurance, or she's probably not going to understand. And I just thought, she understands pretty well. Like we have been understanding each other very, very well in that room. Like very, very well, She was very quiet at times, very vocal at times, very chatty at times. It just kept changing, and I tried to really adapt as quick as I could. She had one of the most beautiful births that I personally have been a part of. Like, she did so well. She didn't need any of the doctor's interventions or anything. Her partner was so supportive. Her mum was so supportive. And she was just like, oh, I did it. And it was literally wallahi, like the most cutest thing I've ever come across. And I just remember thinking, I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. And alhamdulillah, for me, it was like my first proper experience, like of staying with somebody for a few hours and then being able to help them deliver their baby. And so, definitely. I think there needs to be a lot more learning around neurodivergent parents and how to better support them.
Especially after, like, once you give birth, I've been postpartum. Like, I have ADHD, so it was hard for me to adjust to my new reality.
Yeah.
And that's when the PPD kicked in. And I feel like it could have been avoided if I had better understanding of what I have, and had I known I had that, and also been more prepared and known, like had more knowledge basically, it could have definitely been avoided. Definitely. But let's go to another question. Oh wait, no, it's your turn. I already asked one.
Oh yeah, you did. Sorry, because it wasn't from here, so I forgot. Okay. Advice on how to get a man involved in the pregnancy and birth despite cultural norms.
I mean, I would say be present. Be present. Get involved by actually getting involved. Come to the appointments.
From the
beginning.
Yeah,
Go
see
to
the
birth
growth of the
preference.
journey.
Yeah, exactly. Because actually you're building a bond with mum and baby.
Okay.
You know, hearing your baby's heart rate, you're building a bump, talking to your bump as well. You know, all of that really helps. And then I would say, like, when it comes to the birth preferences appointment, you know, get him to come and give him little tasks to do. Like, right, so when we get the bag ready, it's going to be here, baby. You take it. That's your job.
That's your job.
Or like, for example, like TENS machine, so it's what they use for, you know, for pain relief. Right, midwives are actually, not all midwives, but I personally, I'm not that great at using TENS machine. I'm just like, yeah, Dad, do you know how to do it? Thank you. Can you do it? Yeah. Giving him those tasks to do, or being like, can you come and rub the bag? Just getting him involved, but also maybe giving him these little tasks so that he's just like, right, I'll take this on. Because they're very like, give me the instructions. When it comes to birth, they're just like,
Quite
I don't know
practical.
anything.
Quite practical.
You do it.
Also, they're like, I don't want to do anything wrong. I don't want to do anything wrong, so I'm just going to stay right
and
here.
sometimes they sort of retreat. Into
Yeah.
but actually,
do.
when you start giving them tasks, can you do this, please? And even like mum herself, like the partner herself, can be like, like they can discuss like the birth preference appointment. She'd be like, you know, would you let them have a discussion? Would you like to cut the cord when the baby is here? And if that's so, put that part of your birthing plan. Do you want to do skin to skin? Let's keep that in mind. You know, all this, but having him present from the journey from the beginning, I think can really, really help for him to grow a bond with his baby as well.
And I think
read to
talking
his baby,
his partner as well, because I think if he knows her, he knows her best. You know, better than us, you know? And like, even in times where she feels like maybe she can't vocalize certain things, she might listen to him in that moment more so than she'll listen to us. Some women are just like, shut up, James, Nusi, what should I do? You know, some of them are like that, you know? But, and I'm just like, oh no, James, don't shut up. But yeah, basically, you know?
Sorry,
So sometimes they trust their husbands much more, their partners much more. So I think it's just, keeping that clear, open line of communication. And just, I think, in terms of cultural aspect, having just, I guess, I mean, I still would say be present, wouldn't I?
Be present, it depends. I think every culture is a little bit different. I think in some cultures, it's not common for a man to be in the room, in the labour room, and that kind of thing. I just think you should do things tailored to your needs. If your cultural norms and traditions and that inhibits you having a really good experience, then maybe you can put that cultural aspect to the side just for now, just for the situation, you know. But I think that's what I'd say.
That's a beautiful.
That's
answer, guys.
amazing. Thank you. If there is an incident, however small, but you lose trust in your midwife, what are our options?
Get rid of her. I mean, I say that, but if a woman ever said to me, I don't like, I'd be like,
it's
but I would leave.
heartbreaking, wouldn't it?
But I actually would appreciate it. I'd rate it. I'd be like, you know what? She said her, you know, she really advocated for herself in that moment. I mean, I would personally say ask for a coordinator. You know, I think we'll both ask for the leader for the day, or whoever is in charge, and just be like, can I speak to the midwife in charge? And just be like, look, listen, I actually
Speak to them
don't feel
privately
safe.
if you want to.
Because how is your labour going to progress if you don't feel safe with someone?
100%.
Right.
You have to
It's
feel the
all
key is
connected.
safety, you know?
Are you allowed to ask for somebody like who is Muslim or somebody who looks like you? Are you allowed to do that?
It's a grey area, you know, because it's almost like you can have a preference, right? Everyone can have a preference, but
Yeah, I mean, that's actually a very interesting
it's
question.
very interesting
I
because
don't
I
know
feel
how
like
to answer it.
I've looked after. I mean, I've gone into a room once and they didn't want. They want someone that looks more like them,
Okay.
and that was a white person.
Okay.
And so I was a bit like, okay, because I actually know I'm the baddest one here, but if you want to go there, I feel like I'm below par, kind of care, but you go there.
Girl,
but,
who wouldn't want you?
But they were just like, you know, 'cause people are stuck in their ways,
Yeah,
innit?
of course, of course.
But we do, I know at our trust, we do have like a no tolerance for, you know, certain things, and we all are qualified to do the job.
Okay.
But ultimately, without saying it, maybe you just need to be a bit like, I'd actually really like so-and-so midwife to look after me if you know the midwife. Is that possible? Sometimes it might not always be feasible. But honestly speaking, you would be surprised that there's some midwives that aren't Muslim that give the most amazing care. One of my favourite midwives, after Sahra, because she's actually my baby girl, he's actually the lead for bereavement. His name's Navi, and he's also one of my best friends. But I was just like to my husband, because my husband is proper, like, you know, he's going to be a sheikh one day, inshallah.
Inshallah.
I said to him, listen to me, sheikh. I know there's this, I said, but he's a man and he finna deliver our baby alongside Sarah. There's going to be 2 of them.
Yeah.
This is the plan, get with the program when it happens. And he's just a bit like, but he's honestly
phenomenal.
He's fantastic. There's some midwives that aren't Muslims, but you just think like, I would take you any day.
Listen,
really
I don't
take you any
care
day.
where you're from, you know.
Yeah.
No, but if you don't know,
Be nice to me, innit?
Yeah.
Be good to
Like,
me.
I don't care where you're
Sis,
from.
my
bro.
first, when I went to the birth centre and did the examination, she was a Muslim sister, hijabi, everything. you know?
Exactly, that's what
When
I'm
I saw her,
saying.
oh my God,
Yeah, Allah, take it.
yeah, very early.
Exactly. I'm telling you.
She broke my heart.
I'm telling you.
I remember her face till now, and I think I was like,
Damn.
Lucy, I see her around sometimes,
Oh
and
my
I've never
gosh.
approached. Lucy's like, next time we see her, we're gonna approach her. I was like, no, I'm not gonna approach her, but I will never forget her. I will never forget her.
But it's weird because I actually had a woman that she's a Muslim lady, and I wasn't looking after her. I was just walking the corridor. There's me my coffee. It was a night shift, and she was in labour. She was pausing. Her partner was just rubbing her back, and then she looked up, and I just went, like that to her. I went back into labour, and they're like, honestly, you need to go take someone from the triage. Actually, she's so many weeks. She's needs to come on the labour ward. Came in, it was that same Muslim woman, and she was like, Alhamdulillah, Ya Rabbi. She goes, when I saw your face and your smile, I asked Allah, and then Allah accepted my dad. I told Sarah that day, I actually stayed, so my night shift finished at 8:15. I was there to 1 p.m. because that baby went finished to come out when I wasn't there.
oh,
Because she put an onus on me. That wasn't a man right there.
Wallahi.
An answer dua. You better stay
You
there.
be in it.
Ya Rabbi. I mean, I said I couldn't leave her. I had to stay with her. I left at 1 p.m. But obviously
I think generally, maybe the advice that I would personally give, and I don't know if Nusi agrees with me, the midwife that you are met with, see what kind of relationship you can build. Because really and truly, I don't know how we do it, but we create really great relationships
Really quickly.
within a very quick space of time. We're there speaking about literally, like we're best friends, you know what I mean? So you have to see if you can build that relationship with your midwife. Obviously, if you're met by a midwife that's not very kind to you or is very rude, huffing and puffing, that is from the beginning is like,
that's
that can't run.
non-negotiable.
That can't run, and it's something that should be escalated to the coordinator of the day and be like, I don't feel safe in this environment, and how am I supposed to thrive in labour if I don't feel safe?
Facts.
If you don't feel
know?
comfortable saying it, then I would tell the person to get their partner or whoever their birthing partner is to advocate for them on their behalf, because it can be quite awkward.
It can be.
Yeah, and I feel like I'd be that type of person too. Sometimes I don't want to be confrontational. And trust me, there's a couple of... The woman who I don't even want to get into it, but the woman who was doing my induction 4 years ago, she was a bit mad, that one. And I just kept it quiet, bro.
Damn me, I cussed everyone out. I butted everyone up. I told everyone to F themselves and
I'm glad.
left, right, and
That's
centre
why
sideways.
I enjoy hearing
And
that. I enjoy hearing that.
everyone and their mums. Like, it was, So we are. If you ever have another one,
It's like
I'ma
we
be there
can go
with
back
you.
there and speak to that midwife.
Hello?
if you want
I'ma
us
be
to.
there
Thank
with
you.
you.
Hey,
There's
I'll
just
ban
us
everyone
being like,
next-
the next baby will be yours.
No, but I do want to say to it. I am like, obviously I can't apologise on behalf of that midwife, but it's actually not okay.
It's not acceptable.
You should
that
not have felt like that, and actually that's not okay. And I know that I can't speak for the majority, because a lot of people are complaining a lot about the care that they've been given, and sometimes I'm just like, is it the system that's against us? Is it because we're literally going through a whole shift and not being? But I'm like, but I'm like that, and I don't think it's okay. If I went home and I feel like a midwife, a woman has felt 10 times worse after seeing me, that's when I'll pack my bag and I'm like, I'm not doing this job anymore. I'm not doing it anymore.
It's not for you anymore.
It's not for me. If I become desensitized and I'm just almost
To
given
that level.
below standards kind of care,
Yeah,
because that's impacted you now.
of course.
Yeah.
She can't
that
take
might
that
stay
back.
with you forever.
It's like water, like they say with water, when you pour it, you can't pick it back up.
can't.
That's it. And I don't, we're not all like that. Some of us are quite cutesy.
Oh no, I know.
We
I know.
To be honest, I think a lot of our colleagues are really, really
They
amazing.
are. I love
and a
her,
lot of
yeah.
midwives that
I
we've
love
met
our
in our
girls.
path are really, really amazing.
Might have to find out what
I'm
trust
just-
you lot
It
work
just
at.
makes me sad.
No,
It's the
trust
best
me.
trust, I won't say, but we are very.
They do.
No,
they-
honestly,
they're
second time
lovely.
round, oh my god, everyone was an
was
angel.
Good.
And
alhamdulillah.
my son spent some time in NICU as well. Oh my god, the NICU nurses,
They're lovely, aren't they?
They were
My
amazing.
sister's
I
actually
don't think
Nicky
I've
nurse.
ever met,
angels on
yeah.
earth. They speak so softly.
Yeah.
You want to breastfeed today? Come here, sit on a chair.
Aw.
Do you want help?
I don't think I've
massage
ever met a
you?
NICU nurse who isn't.
I've never met
They're
a
so
NICU nurse
sweet.
who's. Could you imagine meeting?
God
a NICU
forbid.
nurse
What
that's
kind of
this-
life is that?
I mean, one of my friends who her baby was in NICU, she did kind of touch up on like there's been times where she's had to be a bit like, no, that's not how you do it. I have to do it like this, because actually the confidence, I guess, wasn't there for the nurse at the time. So yeah, there are some of them, but generally speaking, they're really lovely.
Oh my God, they're so sweet.
They're really
man.
lovely.
I
Maybe
literally had to
sometimes-
buy I bought bare chocolates and snacks and stuff because we were there for like a week.
Bless you.
And I was like, all of you need to, I called the manager and I said,
Yeah.
please give this to all of them.
Oh,
Please let them
that's so
enjoy.
lovely.
Oh my
So
God, they were they had my whole heart, man.
That's so
They were the
sweet.
best.
You
Yeah.
see, you never remember. Like,
Yeah.
sorry, you
Fam.
never forget
Yeah, you
even
don't.
the good
Even the good,
experiences.
exactly, even
You
the
never
good.
forget. Like, you'll never forget that lady's face.
Yeah.
No.
See?
Yeah.
You
pump
never
her up.
That was
forget.
like, wait, my son is, how old is he?
He's 9.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
10.
11.
No.
He's turning 11 in a few
Wow.
in
Oh
2
my
months.
gosh.
Yeah.
That's 11 years ago, and I remember her
Wow.
face. Wallahi, I see her.
See,
I see her on the street
I remember
sometimes.
the
Damn.
induction woman. If she was at a lineup right now,
You'd
I'd
pick
point
her
her
out.
out.
Yeah,
I'd take number
yeah.
5.
I'm gonna go walking out. Yeah. Come at me.
So it's just yeah, wallahi, it's so important. The way that you
Yeah.
behave towards somebody can have a lasting impact in their life
Yeah.
for the rest of their lives.
Do you think that this is like that everybody needs more training in sort of like
The
the
thing is,
awareness of this?
In terms of who
the
Like,
midwives.
the midwives.
I think going back to what Nusi said earlier, empathy is a very difficult thing to teach.
Of course.
Compassion,
being kind isn't.
yeah, it's not. But
You can literally just be like, to be kind.
But the thing
You
is, yeah,
just-
you get people that are very openly kind. Oh my God, so lovely, take care of you. Yeah, oh, squeeze you, hug you. You get that.
Yeah.
And you get people who don't do all of that, but get the job done.
Yeah.
You feel safe with
But
them.
they're still
Yeah.
They show up for you.
Yeah.
They're not rude to you.
Yeah.
They're not horrible to you. So kindness can show up in so many different ways.
Yes.
It's definitely the complete opposite to being rude,
Yeah.
huffing, puffing. Why are you
Chuffing,
here, sis?
waffing.
Pack
Facts.
your stuff,
Leave.
go home.
Yeah.
This
Leave.
job is
Find a
not for
different
you
job.
anymore. That
Honestly.
behaviour, there's no room
Facts.
for that behaviour.
There isn't.
In a room with a woman who's having a baby, in a bay where there's a woman who's just had her
Literally.
baby, and her hormones are left, right, and centre. She hasn't slept for like
15
565 days or years.
Yeah.
She's got another 2 years of sleep
Do
deprivation.
you get
waiting
me,
for her,
sis?
fam.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
how can like for me, it's like sometimes you meet patients that can be quite difficult. I will make 101 excuses for them.
Yeah.
I'm
They've just had a
mainly
baby.
a postnatal mum, so I meet all the mums who are very emotional, all the mums where all the tears, all the like you meet mums that are very very emotional, or just sleep deprived. You know, you get
yeah.
people that are a bit cranky. I can't lie though. During when I was pregnant, yeah, I don't.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
I don't know if we should even get into
Oh
that.
my
But
God.
on a normal day when I'm not pregnant, I like to make excuses for people. Initially, I'm like, who do you actually think you're talking to? But it's like, she's just had a baby.
Yeah.
She hasn't
Yeah.
slept for 5 days.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'd actually
You
be
don't
worried.
Mum,
go
do you
straight,
want to rest?
man.
I'll have you. I'll look after the baby.
Yeah.
Do you want to sleep? Sleep.
What do you
I'll
eat?
look after the baby. Cup of tea, ice, water.
Toast.
You just want to take care of them. You
Yeah.
do have a moment like, okay, why are you talking to me like this? I
Yeah.
understand that you're frustrated, but I haven't done anything
Yeah.
to you. But she can't rationalize that
Yeah,
right now.
Exactly.
It's not an excuse for poor
But-
behavior.
and I'm not trying to be
Thank
funny.
you.
Women, I do like Sarah. I'll make 101 and thousands or whatever of excuses. But partners, who also are deep sleep deprived, to be fair, in their
Yeah.
defense,
They're not going through labour.
they've got a different perspective. So sometimes when they come on smokes,
Oh my God.
I just think, Uncle, where was that energy in the room?
Yeah, where was it?
Because actually you're directing it all here when I'm actually giving you the best care I can actually, or you'll probably ever get right now, because we're all struggling. But I'm trying to show up for you and be there for you and your partner. I don't need this energy uncle, so we need to just really understand and identify what the issues are.
Yeah,
Some
what
people,
are the
you know what's
issues?
so weird? Some people, and I don't know if you feel it, some people you'll be working, you just think, your issue with me right now has actually got to do with my religion or
The colour of my skin.
Oh wow.
Because you
Yeah.
don't
You
know
can
me
catch
from
that
Adam.
vibe.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
can catch
100%.
that
Yeah.
vibe. 100%.
It's like microaggressions, isn't it?
Microaggressions, yeah.
And I'm
And the
just
thing
thinking,
is, you will never understand unless you are not white.
yeah.
Because if you try and tell a white person this, they'll be like, well, how would you know that?
Yeah. He's not doing nothing.
How's that possible that they would just
He didn't
know what
say
I did? Like,
anything.
It's just like, shut the fuck up. And then you go to your best friend and you're like, I just got this vibe. She goes, I know.
Listen.
But she was exactly the same to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're like,
In those
I'm not even
times-
trying to big myself up. But let me tell you something. I'm a fantastic midwife. And I'm
I know,
actually the
that's
best
right.
midwife on shift today.
Hello.
And let me tell you something. Ain't none of these midwives that look like you, not as in all
Yeah,
midwives,
yeah.
but just cut me out, yeah? Not all midwives, I'm just saying, on shift that day, actually that midwife that looks like you, that you think is going to be better than me, she will not sit here and give you 30 minutes of breastfeeding support. My back is breaking when I'm leaning over like this. I shouldn't say that in front of infant feeding. But, you know, my back is breaking and I'm trying to do this. They
She still had a problem.
It's micro.
But it's micro.
Yeah, but you
And you know what?
Yeah.
There's sometimes it pisses me off even more. I don't know if it makes me feel better or pisses me off even more. You get something like, and you're like, I'm a midwife today. Congratulations. You know, you almost have like a bit of a sweat.
Yeah, so like, the nostrils are even flaring. Yeah, man, I can't even flare it anymore because
and then the partner's also there, like, And you're like, yes, I'm your midwife today, whatever. But after a couple of hours, you're literally the best thing they've ever met.
Oh, wow.
But I don't even know if I like that.
Sometimes.
At the beginning, they were saying, stop the boat.
So you got to prove yourself.
At the beginning, they were saying, go back to your country. And
Sing
now
in our
they're
job,
saying, you're the dog's bollocks.
But some of them,
You're the
some of
bee's
them are
knees.
very much go back to your own country, but have one conversation with them, and sometimes they need a little woman up.
You need to prove to
You know
them.
what? Do you know
What's
what? You have
going
to
on?
prove
Prove
yourself.
yourself.
You're one of the good ones.
Yeah.
By the end of that conversation, I like you. I like
Yeah.
They should all be like you.
Yeah. Oh, is it? Is it? Do you know, sometimes, if I'm not in the damn mood and I'm met with that, I'm just like, okay, Mum, I'm just actually going to go do some, jog around. When you're ready, thank you. Because I'm actually going to give you a moment. I'm going to give you a moment to think about what you're doing and how you're treating me. Because normally I come in like, hi. I will assess the situation. If I feel like I've come in and you're just like, hi, I'll be like, yeah. If I come in and you're just like, I'm really tired, I'm like, okay, mummy,
Go to sleep.
let me support. But actually, if you come in,
You're like,
you flirt your
why do you have
nostrils
so much
from
energy?
Safa
You
to
just had a baby.
And you're,
Suffer to
Why
Yeah,
do you
honestly.
have so much energy? You just had a
like,
baby.
you
Yeah.
just had a baby, you got so much energy. Yeah. But sometimes I'm just like, do you know what? Let me give you the benefit of the doubt. Maybe the midwife before me has given you some kind of vibe.
Yeah.
You know? But there's just something that you know when it's different. You know when it's not that.
you know the
When
vibe.
it's
I
when the
understand.
microaggression
I
is
understand that.
microaggression.
Oh my
Microaggression.
God, I get
What
it.
do you do?
had
Can
to-
you switch them to someone else? Like, can you?
Ideally not.
You generally just continue caring.
Yeah, it is
but
what
if
it
I
is.
feel
Okay.
like, but really and truly, we are well within our rights to be like, we're not going to yellow card. We're not going to put up with this. I remember
Well, it
there was-
depends, isn't it, Nusi?
Yeah.
Because it's very difficult, like I said, to try to explain to somebody that's never experienced it
Yeah.
what you have faced.
Exactly.
This
Especially
person gave me that look, so you don't want to take care of this woman, so you're denying care for this woman because she gave you a look.
Right.
But you're
She's
like,
also in
you don't
labour, guys,
understand.
as well.
But
you
you know,
know?
like,
So
you
it's
get
a
scared,
sticky
you know,
one.
because because you're protecting your pin at the end of the day.
Yeah.
If they're already flaring the nostrils like this, you just think, whoa, you got to be careful. I mean, you're careful anyways. But literally, sometimes I'll go in and I'll be like, you're right, babe, how's it going? And I'm really just myself. Sometimes people will say that's unprofessional. But if you're speaking like the Queen's English, I'm going to be like, how do you do? I'm gonna meet you where the energy's met.
Yeah.
I remember there was one lady I was looking after and she literally was like asking questions, but she was directing it at my student midwife who was white.
Yeah.
And her student midwife would look at me like, Nusi, and I'm like, no, ask. Because she's asking you, so you answer.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't actually know. I was like, And I felt bad for the student midwife, innit? But I said, so basically, what you're looking for, you know,
she got caught in the
collateral
crossfire.
damage, unfortunately. I'm like,
Wow.
okay, so basically, in answer to your question, X, Y, and Z. She asked another question, she's looking at the student midwife. Student midwife would look at me. And I'm just like, sorry, do you want to actually ask me the question? Yeah, thank you. So, actually,
Clearly, I'm the one that knows.
That's so cheeky.
Yeah, they
That's
literally
so
completely
cheeky.
It's like
disregard me.
you were invisible.
Yeah.
That's so
But let
cheeky.
me tell you,
there
in the same
at all.
look, obviously not everyone is like this. Do you
No.
understand?
Of course,
that?
most people are
I
lovely.
feel like it's one every now and again.
Yeah.
You know?
course, of
But
But
there's
where
a
we
lot of
work,
women
there
that
is a lot. There is
Damn.
quite much more than you'd find anywhere else.
Damn.
Because
I can't lie, when I first came there, because I came from a
Culture shock.
completely different demographic where it was very mixed. Like,
Yeah.
seeing somebody from a white descent wasn't even that common. That's
Yeah.
how, you know?
Wow.
yeah,
So when I came here,
Hey.
I said, you know, here.
yeah.
I was just like, okay, you know?
Oh my goodness.
I would go in a room or I'd go in a bay and I just feel like, why are you talking to me like that?
Yeah.
You know? I literally feel so offended, and it took me a little while to get used to it. Now, I can't say that I felt that for a very long time, but I don't know if I'm desensitized to it. I don't even know who likes me, who doesn't like me.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, you're right, yeah, but I don't know who like me. I've become so, maybe I've become desensitized to it, because all of a sudden, what, they like me all of a sudden?
Yeah.
So you come across some funny stuff. I think as a midwife, they say we've got thick skin, so
Yeah.
you just get on with it.
Oh,
and
do just get on with it.
definitely did.
everyone needs, at the end of the day, the person's in hospital for a reason. They're either
Yeah.
in labour. I mean, it's really difficult to take care of somebody that you've got that vibe with
Yeah.
in labour, because you're there for hours. When it's like the postnatal ward, you're going in and out and in. Like, there's
Yeah.
breaks from there, so it can be
Yeah.
difficult. But everyone deserves care. Everyone, like,
Absolutely.
especially if they come in
course.
to get care for their pregnancy, for their childbirth, for their postpartum period. You just got to be like, you're
It's
not
what it
the
is.
same as everyone, and that's
Yeah.
fine. If that's how you want to behave, you behave like that. So
Yeah.
what a miserable way
It
to
won't.
live.
It won't. It won't change
How
our
I
care.
care.
I'm still gonna care for you the same
I
way
might not be
care anyone.
touchy like
But,
I am
yeah,
with
yeah,
everyone
you're
else.
gonna get a
Like, oh
hug
my
off
God,
me,
I'm so
but-
proud of you. Give you a
yeah.
hug and a kiss.
Yeah.
Definitely won't do that.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, well done.
Yeah.
I will tell you, well done. You've done really great. Whether you
Yeah.
accept it, whether you like me
Yeah.
then or whatever, I don't really
Yeah.
care. But I will tell you, you've done a great job. You
Send
did a
them
great job.
back.
Isn't it crazy how like racism doesn't stop even when you need like
Someone,
even when you're
yeah.
vulnerable.
Even when you're
Even
really
when the
there,
arms
needing
hanging
the
off.
help.
Yeah.
What the hell?
There's
I-
people
heli-
who are
do
on
you know
their
what I think when
deathbeds
I- yeah.
asking for a
Yeah.
white doctor.
The nerve.
Yeah.
Hey,
The nerve it must take for your mind to still be there. When
to
you
still be
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
That's how strong
Yeah.
racism is, you know. Wow.
It overpowers
The
more
contraction.
than a contraction,
Ah.
more than pain relief. Hey,
Yo,
you imagine being in
people
pain and
say
still
even
giving head?
dementia patients are still
Yeah.
remembering racism. Can you crazy?
Oh my God, I did see that.
They still say racist. Like, still
Literally.
racist with
Can you
dementia.
imagine?
I think the reason for that is because with people with dementia, they have a hard time remembering what's happened today, yesterday,
Yeah.
day before.
They can
Whereas actually, they
regress.
can recall when they were in their 20s.
Yeah.
And the teens and the racism was
Plantation days. I hear it. They remember that.
I just in
So-
labour, I think it's completely different.
God forbid. I've
Imagine.
never experienced something where it's like pure racism in my face.
Oh,
I would be like,
alhamdulillah.
I'd be very,
God
very
forbid.
worried.
God
I'll
forbid.
pack my stuff like this.
I'd be like, actually scared for my
Stag,
life.
get up, leave.
Good
Bye.
luck. Good luck with your
You
baby,
couldn't pay me
man.
enough.
But then again, you have to ask yourself: is that so? Somebody being outrightly racist and somebody being so micro.
The damage
with
is
it.
just the
Subtly,
same.
yeah, of
Which
course.
one
the
is
damage the
better?
same.
The
And
damage-
neither of them are better.
but
I'd rather the
I'll
one who's
tell you
outwardly.
right now,
yeah.
I prefer the open one.
Yeah,
Oh,
same.
yeah.
I know where
straight
to
off the
place
bat
you.
how you feel
Yeah,
about
and I
me.
know where I
100%.
stand.
Exactly. Oh, okay. I placed you there.
Be overt with it.
The
the ones that you're like,
microaggressions. Just
don't
say
even
you're
know.
a scaredy cat. You're
the
a
ones
pussy.
that are very subtle with it, they're the ones who report you behind your
Yeah,
back,
yeah.
but smile in your face.
Yeah, they'll say
Listen.
thank you for your care, and then they'll say,
Yeah.
"You see that black one?
Exactly.
See that black one over
You
there?
know
Yeah.
what? I actually had an encounter with someone who was a consultant. At the time, I wasn't a midwife, and you know, I was supporting
Name and
paperwork.
shame. No, I'm joking. If you don't know, I know his name. Sorry.
This consultant, like I said, I worked in the private wing at the time, and so I got along with everyone, all the consultants. They were all lovely, whatever. So it was particular paperwork that I'd put in his like pigeonhole, and so I was like off the next day, and then I got a call. Everyone's like, "Where's the paper? Where'd you put it?" And I was like, "I put it in his pigeonhole." Okay, next time give it to him in his hand. Well, next time don't give me the paper. Why are you giving it to me? I'm a support worker. I've got nothing to do with legalities of whatever the document is. I came in the next day, well, following that, and was told that he actually said, "Where's that big flat, you know, that's the opposite. Where's that big fat black girl with a silver tooth that walks around like this?" And you know what? It wasn't even about. That's the
Shut
first of all, I
up.
don't waddle. That's number one. I don't waddle.
Second of all, you're not fat.
Second, I mean, them days I was a bit strong, but you know what? But no, don't ever fat shame me. And the thing is, yeah, the size, no, the wicked, yeah,
We don't fat shame him.
yeah, we don't.
But
the
it was
size of
rich.
him, yeah.
You are rich to call my friend fat. And that is what it is.
Not the pot.
How did
The
you
pot
find
calling
out?
the
He said
kettle.
that? Did he say that to someone else?
They said it. He said it openly in front of other
To
colleagues.
a few
And one of the
people.
colleagues was like, "I can absolutely not let Nusi walk around here cheating and kicking with everyone after what he's just said." When she
Hey.
told me, "You see me, one thing about me, yeah, I don't have time to sit down." Well, actually, there's escalation processes. So when there's something that's happened, you're supposed to go to your manager. Your manager go to manager. I went to the CEO of the hospital.
Good.
I said, "Let me tell you, unless you want to catch a case, you said I don't have money for a case, but I would have found the money." I said, "Let me tell you about X, Y, and Z. I will not tolerate this. I
Absolutely.
will absolutely not tolerate. You mad? Who do you think you are?" And the size of him, he was literally big giant. How dare
Audacity.
you?
God.
Yeah.
The audacity.
Did he get the hell out of there? Was he
He
fired?
didn't. He's still
Of course
there.
they
This
did.
is
Didn't.
just
Still there.
And he,
That man
one time
lines
he
their
tried
pocket.
to cheat with me, and I was like, "Sorry, yeah, if you actually don't mind leaving this bed, I actually need to speak to my patient. Thank you." These times he doesn't know what he's done to me, but I know that he offended my friend a couple years back. You know, when I wasn't
Yeah.
even at the trust.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still there till
What
now.
a
Still
waste,
there
man.
now.
Still there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which
Big
hospital
fat
is this?
black girl.
Shame.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. I might pass by.
just swing by, but and you think you won't miss him.
If I ever have another child, I'm gonna be there and I'm gonna ask for him. And then I'm gonna say, "Listen, yeah, you fatty, get out of my room. Fucking smell."
I heard you waddling from the wall.
I heard doof, doof,
Honestly.
doof. I heard you coming from 10.
So he was so disrespectful, and I'll never
Very
forget him. So
disrespectful.
now,
Bless
actually,
you,
when
man.
he sees me, he don't even look
And
my
I think,
way.
Oh
no,
my
I
God.
think, 'cause, you know, everyone's people at work think Nusi is me is Nusi. Me and Nusi don't look alike.
Yeah.
But we're black and we're hijab.
Yeah.
Of
I
course.
swear to God, there was one time the same doctor
Yeah.
called me, hello, morning, Nusi. And I said, Sarah. He's like, you know, they get shocked
Oh
as well
my
because they're like, oh
God.
my God, they're going to think I'm one of them.
They
ones
all
that just
look
think
the
they
same.
look
They're
the
gonna
same.
think I'm
And I was
racist.
like, Sarah. And
Oh,
he's
but
like,
that
my
doctor's
God.
lovely,
And
that
he is,
one.
he is.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And then again, they knocked on my door to get handover. And he's like, oh, Nusi. I was like,
Again.
Sarah. And he's like,
I mean, I'm
"Oh,
flattered,
can't believe
but, you
I've done
know."
it again. And then he did it a third time. I thought, you're just taking it. I said,
Taking
"Do
a
you know
bit
what?
now.
Yeah, you're lucky because if Nusi wasn't my best friend, I'd actually be like, what is the meaning of this behaviour? I said, but she's my best friend.
Yeah,
and
but
I love
Nusi
her.
has a
I'm
silver
honoured."
tooth and you
I'm
don't.
literally
That's the
got a
most.
silver tooth.
Forget the
Hey.
rest
And
of
I'm
it.
not-
Forget the
I'm
rest of
actually
it.
really loud at work. Whereas Sarah, she can be loud, but she's actually she's
It's the black hijabs, bro. Switch it up.
It's-
Someone wear pink,
It's
someone
the
wear
black
yellow.
hijab and just being black in general.
I'd be wearing colours, sis. I'd be wearing blue if I had to. You know me. I'd be
And
wearing
they
colours
literally
like.
be like Nusi.
But I'll still be like, Sarah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys,
So,
I'm so sad that we have to wrap up.
we're running out of time. Why does it feel like we've been in here for like 10
No,
minutes?
why do I feel like we need a part 2?
There's such a vibe, bro.
oh,
You
I
guys,
love you guys, man. Thank
can
you
I
so
just
much for having
say,
us.
you guys are an absolute ray of sunshine
Wallahi.
on this rainy ass day.
Allahu Mubarak.
Let me just say that.
Allahu Mubarak.
Allah Mubarak, you guys are such a vibe. I can feel your
Yeah.
beautiful. They've got this beautiful kind of
Aura.
like aura
Yeah,
about
I can
them.
feel it as well. It's
Je ne
good
sais quoi.
vibes.
Yeah.
Je ne sais quoi.
Allah
We could say
Mubarak,
the same
man.
about you guys.
Listen, if I could go back and do my labour again,
I swear I will
ask
come to you
I
guys.
wish you
I'd
guys
be
could
there.
If I
so we
ever
could
find a
just-
nice man and have another child, I'm coming to your trial.
Hello.
Wait. Let's not do it. I mean, just yet.
How is it? Should we just wait?
She's
Would
not
you
ready.
wait?
I don't know if
her
I'm ready
bum
for
hole's
that
not ready
just
What-
Jamie,
I hate him.
the episode hasn't finished yet.
I love that.
Guys, plug yourselves.
Plug yourselves. Where
Thank
can
you.
they find
We're
you?
gonna put all your information at the bottom, but just plug yourselves
Yeah.
where people can find you.
So Instagram, Birthing Muslimah, TikTok, the
Birthing
same on
Muslimah.
Birthing Muslimah. We've just got our website that's going to be up and running soon.
Very, very soon.
So it's
And just to let you guys
Birthing
know, we're currently working on a women's campaign to help women in crisis at the moment.
Yeah.
So definitely keep your eyes peeled for that, inshallah, to support women to have safe pregnancies and safe deliveries in every corner of the world, inshallah.
Hey, and when you guys do that campaign, come back and talk about it.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh no! Before you do it, before
Thank
you
you.
launch, come back and talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll film it,
Please.
inshallah.
Please
You guys
do.
can come back
Inshallah.
as many times as
Anytime.
you like.
Anytime. Wallahi.
Just let us know. We'll be here every day. I need to
Hello.
get away from them kids as well because my son's teething and I can't do it. It's
girl,
really bad. It's
teething.
really going through a really difficult time.
Miskin.
Thank you guys so much. I hope you
Thank you,
guys
guys.
enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment,
Yes.
make sure you like, make sure you follow them as well. Thank you for tuning in, guys.
Bye.
you.
Bye.
You guys are so cute, honestly.